Welcome to Manhood Academy Podcasting. As always, I'm your host, Professor Plum, and we have the worst student at Manhood Academy, Boggles, with us.
Once again?
Once again.
When is that going to change?
Number 0, once again.
Okay.
And it looks like High School 101 wants to get on, but we're going to...
Another worst student wants to get
Yeah, another worst... I don't know if I can handle 2 worst students in the same fucking podcast.
Session?
Yeah, we gotta get through this shit. Okay, so let's go to the podcast topics. I want to cover every single topic on here.
Damn, marathon session.
We're gonna have to hurry.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure I do all these. So let's just do it. Topic number 1.
I'm going to the forum and, yeah, alright.
Let's see. What's the first one here?
Oh shit, you added stuff there.
Do we go from the top down? Or, I think we start from the top down. Might be going back in time. I'm not sure. Okay, so the first one is it's High School 101.
High school, where is that topic?
Big shocker. Okay, let's see here.
Oh, you mean the links that you posted?
Let me see. What? I noticed that I hadn't maintained my relationship with Boggles. Okay. Let's start at the top since I think most of this is fail anyway. Fix, you're supposed to fix it. Okay. I noticed I hadn't maintained my relationship with Boggles. I hadn't talked to him for a few days prior to September 24th. I decided that I didn't like him whining about Torero, so I immediately called him to straighten things out. Hey, Boggles, if you have a problem with Torero, take it up with him. Don't complain about it on our bro day. That was really annoying. Stating expectation and punishing by creating a negative association.
Okay. Oh, Boggles, hey, Torero is being a retard and talking about all this gay shit, and Death by Porno is being annoying as usual. You retard. They were...
I don't care. If you have a problem with another student, take it up with him after the bro day. Interrupting him and restating my expectation.
Boggler, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. You think you're smart and shit? You have so much pride, but you're not. You are a big retard.
Hey, you do the crime, you do the time. Okay, this is the fucking worst EM report I've ever seen in my life. None of the brackets make sense because they're all fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
I
think you forgot how to write EM reports.
It pains me to read student reports because they're so fucking stupid. Like, all they have to do is just look at the EM guidelines. They say exactly what to put in there. Do any of the EM guidelines say, interrupting, restating, I mean, are you supposed to put interrupting, restating expectation?
No, you're not supposed to. Only punishing, rewarding, and...
Yeah, it's like supposed to be so fucking simple. Why do we make it so simple? Why?
Because students are retarded.
Right, we know they're retarded, but why do we make it simple? That's not why we made it simple.
Well, you want to keep it simple. You don't want to make EM like this rocket science.
Yes.
Punish, reward, and, make
it
sure
should be very simple. If you can identify, when you're justifying yourself appropriately or inappropriately, if you can identify where the expectation management struggle is starting, where the first defiance of your authority is starting, and you could tell where the punishment and the reward is going, it makes everything very simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you start going, interrupting, restating expectation, try to realign my parabola with my inner chakra, all this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Disrespecting me? What does he put disrespecting me for in brackets?
That shouldn't be there.
It's fucking stupid.
Actually, everything shouldn't be. It's all wrong.
Yeah, it's all fucking retarded.
This guy made a post.
And this guy makes posts that I like, which is so boggling. This is Indian syndrome. This is like, you would expect this from a kid with Down syndrome. But this is from High School 101, who has a bright guy, makes some really great posts, but he posts this retarded shit. It's just useless.
Yeah. And I'm really surprised because he made a post as to how to make a proper report.
He's fucking posting about how to write a
irony.
Yeah, this is irony. That's all I think of. When I think of Indians, I want to rename their entire race to irony.
I think there's a lot of irony.
Not Indians, ironies. Yes. So I don't know how to comment on this other than, okay, let's just comment on the principle of the fuck up here. Forget about this terrible EM report, which it's just fucking terrible. Let's comment on the actual problem here. What's the problem? What's he trying to do and what's the problem? Why can't he do it? Let's talk about it. Let's make it simple.
I guess his expectation is,
he does this the same thing with everybody, so it's not anything different. What's the major problem and why isn't he able to pull it off?
Well, I don't think anybody respects him.
Right. Well, so what's the problem?
He doesn't know how
What does it mean if somebody doesn't respect you? What does that mean?
Well, nobody really cares for...
Do we use the term respect you here?
Pardon?
Do we use the term respect you here?
No, fears him.
What?
Nobody fears or cares for him.
Fears what?
Fears his authority or his punishment.
Okay, so it's not fears his punishment.
Okay.
If I punch you in the face, is that a punishment?
Yes.
Do you fear punishment or do you fear authority?
I fear punishment.
Okay.
I want to get punched in the face.
Punishment is by default. Like, let's say a punishment is getting a punch in the face.
Yes.
Okay? By default, that is fearful. Pain is fearful.
Yes.
But pain is not a person.
A punch is not a person, yeah.
So it's irrelevant to say I fear a punishment.
Well, I do fear
That's like saying I like sugar and then I don't like not getting sugar. It's irrelevant. It's saying, the point is, you need to say, I like a person who gives me sugar, and then I like a person who withholds sugar from me. I don't like a person who withholds something I like from me.
I see what you're saying. You gotta always keep the person in mind.
Yeah, but you're stating it wrong. You don't understand. You're not saying, I fear the punishment and I don't.
You don't separate the two?
You don't say, I don't fear his authority or fear his punishment. You're not understanding what authority is. Authority is enforced by punishment, or it's enforced by pleasure, by giving a reward.
Okay.
So if I'm rewarding you, I'm enforcing my authority. If I'm punishing you, I'm also enforcing my authority.
Okay,
The net result is you fear my authority, not the punishment or the reward. It's a given that you're going to like the reward or hate the punishment.
So you're saying I fear
you would never not fear the punishment. Under what circumstance would you not fear the punishment?
Never.
Okay, so why would you say I don't fear his punishment? It doesn't make sense.
I fear it. Okay.
You always fear punishment. It doesn't matter whose punishment it is. It's irrelevant.
It's Flamar High School. I always fear punishment.
What you need to be fearing, or what he's trying to get you to fear, is what?
His authority.
Which is enforced by what?
By punishing me.
Or?
Rewarding me.
Yes. So those are the two issues. So why would you not fear his authority here?
Because he doesn't reward me enough, and his punishment doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't fear his punishment. I don't...
Fucking retard.
I don't fear his authority. God, I fucked up again, right after.
Why don't... Let's start again from the top. Why don't you fear his authority?
Because his authority hasn't been established with enough rewarding. And I don't fear his enforcement. Am I correct? I'm not clear how to answer the question properly.
He is not giving you a reason to even want to follow his expectations.
Yes.
So there is no reward. There is no incentive. He doesn't know how to create an incentive to get you to want to care about meeting his expectations.
Yes, I agree.
So he is not giving you a tasty meal so that when he says, don't eat this tasty meal, you haven't been given a tasty meal in the first place. So for him to tell you, don't eat this tasty meal, it means nothing. That's like saying punishment when he says, don't disrespect me. You need to not say that during the bro day. Well, he hasn't given you an incentive to even care about what he says. So he hasn't given you an enjoyable bro day for you to even care to not disturb his bro day.
Okay.
Let me try to put
in his mind, he thinks he does, though.
Yeah, that's the point. He doesn't understand that, and we keep repeating that to him. That's why this is retarded. Well, no, it's retarded because it's a bad EM report, but it's just, he has a major problem, which a lot of students have, is they don't know how to give incentive. Mm-hmm. And in his mind, he thinks he's giving incentive. And every time I tell him, hey, fucko, you're not giving people incentive. They don't like you. If somebody doesn't like you, you're not giving them a reason to like you.
Yeah.
When you come over, do I just go, hey, Margaret, you're an asshole. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Is that the way I operate?
No.
You would start to resent me after a while if all I said to you was, hey, stop acting like an asshole. If that's the only thing I said to you.
Yeah, because it's only punishment.
Yeah, and then you came over, and we didn't do anything. I just made you take me places, pay for stuff. I didn't talk to you. And then whenever you did something wrong, I said, hey, don't do that. I don't like when you do that.
I would think of High School 101.
Yeah, you would start thinking this is fucking High School 101.
Yes.
Because all he is one big demand and no supply. Why do I want to do something for somebody who's not giving me something back? This is the whole basis. This is like basic economics. This is like, look, I have a chicken and you have money. I can't just tell you, give me money. What do I have to do? Hello?
You have to give me the chicken to get
Yes, there has to be some exchange. There has to be a mutual exchange going on. So if I say, hey, Bogler, I want that money. Oh, here's a chicken to compensate you. Here's a chicken to reward you so that you want to meet my expectation.
Well, in his mind, he feels I've conveyed two experiences.
Yeah, but this guy is so retarded. He is so keen about talking about, you notice in all his Ian reports, they're always, hey, here's how I'm punishing a guy. Here's my expectation, and here's why I say specifically to tell him, don't violate my expectation. Here he's saying, hey, Bogler, I told you specifically, don't say that at the bro day, and don't do this and don't do that. How does he talk about his rewards?
I don't actually see any rewards here.
Well, let's scroll down. I'll scroll down. Let's kill two birds with one stone, because I also posted about this recent EM report, which is also garbage. So he says, he's trying to talk to two chicks and pick up a chick here, blah, blah, blah. And, he says here, what does he say about?
Yeah, even here I don't see any rewards.
No. He talks about his reward.
Oh, he talks about it, okay. Where is the reward?
Hold on, let me find it here. Clueless, I just talked. Okay. Both the girls seem to like me, but only as a friend. Girl 7 was the one I talked to more. I told her about my experiences of my day, and she laughed a bit. She also started to volunteer a little information about it, so our conversation lasted more than a few minutes. After that, I asked her some questions about herself so I could show interest in her and get to know her. Okay? This is his description of his reward. After that, I asked her some more questions about herself so I could show interest in her and get to know her. What's the problem here?
I asked her more questions about herself so I can get to know her.
Well, he also talks about, I told her my experiences of my day, and she laughed a little bit. She also started to volunteer a little more about herself, so our conversation lasted more than a few minutes. After that, I asked her some more questions about herself so I could show interest in her and get to know her. What is the problem here?
Where's the direction going towards, hey, I like you, I like this
I don't know, because all he fucking talks about specifically is how I punish people. Do you ever hear him say, here's how I rewarded her?
You're right, he hardly...
Yeah, because he's a fucking idiot and he doesn't realize that he doesn't know how to reward anybody. That is my point. This is why you notice, he can specifically tell you, well, Bogler did this specific thing, and I didn't like it, so I told Bogler, hey, don't do this, and I was punishing him, or I was using ridicule. He's very specific about his punishments.
Yeah, kind of
but whenever he talks about awards, hey, bro, I just told her about my experiences, and then I asked her questions to show I cared about her, so I'm showing her interest, right? No, you fucking asshole. No, you're so fucking delusional, I doubt any of this. I doubt you're talking about anything that is interesting or makes me want to talk to you.
Because if it was that concrete, you'd have mentioned it.
Yeah, if it was so concrete. If I had like Bogler and I said, hey, Bogler, I'm your buddy. I'm going to give you some incentive. I would say, I went to Subway. I got my $5 out, and I paid for Bogler's chicken Subway melt. So Bogler ate his chicken Subway melt. I saw a smile appear upon his face, and he said, thank you, showing me gratitude. So that Bogler showed that he enjoyed the reward I gave him. And then people can go, oh, Plum did something specific. He took a specific action. He bought Bogler a sandwich. Bogler liked the sandwich. So I can see something concrete here demonstrating that Plum knows how to reward Bogler, knows how to make Bogler have an enjoyable time, an enjoyable experience with him. So now Bogler is more likely to hang out with him. I see a definite reason.
Yeah,
do you see that in his reports?
Huh?
Do you see that in his reports?
No, I don't. Anywhere almost. I've never seen it actually.
I've seen
glimpses of it.
I've seen glimpses of it for sure. He's talked and he's been enjoyable when he's spoken, but for some reason it's always absent from his reports.
Yeah.
So for sure it's not consistent. If it's even there. This guy's so fucking delusional, I don't even know if it's there. And my guess is it isn't.
Yeah, he is very delusional, yeah.
Because if he was so incentivizing as he claims to be,
he could have clearly written about it without any...
Well, forget about clearly written about. How would I know he was providing a proper incentive to you?
If he wrote it down, you would know.
No. If he didn't write it down, how would I know? How do I know gravity exists?
Because things fall down.
Okay, so what am I looking at? Am I looking directly at the invisible force of gravity?
You're observing the effect of gravity.
Right, I'm observing the effects that tell me that gravity is in place and working properly, correct?
Yes.
So how would I know he was using enough incentive with you?
I would want to listen to what he says and
Yes. So you constantly don't want to listen or do what he says. So what is that telling me?
That he's not rewarding me.
There you go. Very simple. If this asshole had written his Ian report in a specific way, we could diagnose this problem instead of me having to play fucking Sherlock Holmes and go in there and start noting patterns. Oh, this guy is always talking about his punishments, but never his rewards. I wonder why. And then you see the fruit of his labor. Well, nobody wants to hang out with him. He always ends up in the friend zone. So then what do we know?
She's not rewarding people properly.
Why do we know that? Even though he didn't write it here.
Because you observe the result, and the result is every time nobody wants to hang out with him.
There you go. Very simple. Cause and effect. That's how we figure out the invisible force of gravity is there, and that's how we figure out the invisible incentive of pleasure is missing from his social interactions.
So you look at the effect and you can figure out the cause.
Yes. So these are principles. If they weren't principles, we wouldn't be able to do this. We would just be guessing, making, uneducated guesses. But because we know pleasure, pain, as reward and punishment are principles of social interaction, of how to create a proper relationship with a social interaction, if we know somebody doesn't want to meet his expectation, doesn't care about his punishments, then we also know something else.
The reward is lacking.
The reward is lacking, yes. So that's how I diagnose these things. I'm not a mind reader. I just understand that we're dealing with principles.
Okay. And the test of the reward is if the other person wants to listen to you or not. Like, he might be like, well, I think I'm rewarding him, but then the test is...
Well, are they in a good relationship? If he's rewarding and punishing properly, what will the end result always be?
A good relationship.
Right. Now, granted, there is the case where, let's say you're rewarding and punishing properly. Will it always end in a good relationship?
That is the likely outcome.
That's the likely outcome. But is there a case where that won't happen?
I mean, there could be other factors. I can't think of them.
Well, what if the other person is a psychopath?
Then
what if the other person is damaged or on drugs?
So it should happen to the majority of the population.
There are factors that are out of your control.
Yes.
That the other person may have, mental deficiency, maybe on drugs, may be very dysfunctional. Maybe, if you have a hardcore bitch, maybe she was molested. Maybe she was, had a violent upbringing. There are all kinds of reasons why she might not care about you properly rewarding and punishing her. So there are definitely these
exceptions.
I would say exceptions to the rule, but the rule, generally speaking, always applies.
Okay.
Now, granted, people are damaged to varying degrees and are dysfunctional to varying degrees. But if you start aligning them by properly rewarding them and properly punishing them when it's called for, you'll start to see them shape up. You'll start to see them, even if they are dysfunctional with other people, at the very least, they're going to start acting more functional with you, or not more functional. They were going to act less dysfunctional with you. They're going to start moving towards.
Serial killer would want to kill you.
Yes. So this is showing that when you're exercising authority properly, these people will start behaving in a normal manner, even if they, are initially behaving abnormal or in a very, standoffish or antisocial manner with other people.
Say you were like talking to a gangster and you were rewarding him or something.
There you go.
He's an asshole. When he sees you, he's like, oh, hey. What's up?
Yes. Another good example would be like a child who's chronically misbehaving, throwing tantrums as a brat, basically. If they're a brat, if they're a spoiled child throwing tantrums and, they want to get their way, they have terrible parents. But if you're their teacher or somebody who's in charge of them and you start spanking and rewarding, well, they might still be that terrible brat when they go home, but around you, they're going to start changing their behavior because you're now punishing properly. You're now rewarding properly.
You're creating an orderly situation.
Yes, you're creating an orderly situation. So what's the problem here with High School 101?
It's not rewarding enough.
Obviously. All he talks about is, hey, I expected them to do this. Hey, I wanted this girl to go out with me. Hey, I wanted this. Hey, I want this to happen.
So the demands are pretty high.
Yeah, demands are high, but who wants to meet his demands? Nobody. I don't want to meet his demands. High School 101 said, hey, buddy, what did he say in the chat room?
Look, I want to be on the podcast with me. I'll get on the podcast too.
Yes. What's that?
That's a demand. He's like,
yeah.
I want to be there.
Why is he not on the podcast?
Because neither of us want him on there.
Yes, neither of us want him on the podcast. There's no incentive.
Yeah.
There is only demand. There is only expectation.
Yeah, when you see that, you're like, oh.
I'm like, fuck off, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have DVP on the podcast.
Yeah, he's more personable.
I can stand High School 101, I should say, when there's a group, when I don't have to deal with him directly. But it's just like dealing with you one-on-one. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hang out with you consistently. Like if we had to hang out Monday through Friday, I would dread it. I can take you in short bursts, maybe once a week, etc. Now, you're coming along. I could definitely see a difference from when I first hung out with you. I wanted to kill myself. But now, you are, like, I would say, for instance, the very last time we hung out was yesterday.
Yeah, last night.
Now, you sound like a total fag on the phone. You always sound like a passive fag on the phone, which is always depressing to me, talking to you. But immediately when you came over, you were cheerful, you were talking, you were sharing your experiences, and already I was like, oh, now I'm having a good time right off the bat. That demonstrates to me, that makes me go, next time, oh, what kind of experience did I have with Bogler? I had an enjoyable time. Now there's incentive for me to go, oh, see, I almost lost my mind and thought, because there's a Vegas trip coming up, and I thought about inviting you, because I had a good time hanging out with you. That
I still trying to call me.
Yeah, good. Turn that off. Okay, so I had a good time talking to you yesterday. So that gave me the incentive. You see, initially my whole thought was, well, I'm going on a Vegas trip. It would be cool to have Boggo along with us, but I know he's a fucking headache from past experience. Now hanging out with you yesterday, I was like, I was tempted to go, hey, this was a fun time with Boggo. I would love having him along on the Vegas trip. So see, your incentive that you provided yesterday changed my attitude towards you. Changed me wanting to meet your expectations now. Now, of course, I had to go back in my brain and realize this guy's Indian and he's just starting on his learning how to create incentive. But I got to hang out with him for 5 days. Do I want to risk 5 days with Bogler? Fuck no. So still, it's the very fact that you could change my mind and I could at least have a thought to go, hey, it would be fun to have Bogler along on this trip. Says a lot about your ability to provide me, the professor, with incentive, who is probably one of the most demanding people you know. Mm-hmm. So if you can provide me, the instructor of the course, with enough incentive to want to hang out with you, this shows obviously you know how to create incentive for others. This is what it means to create incentive. You know how to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. That's why for you I always say it's not a matter of incentivizing others. You already know how to do that. You just, A, don't practice because you're a lazy fucking Indian. And number 2, you have no balls. You need to work on incentivizing others so you see, oh, they're eager to meet your expectations now, and now you have to enforce that. But that takes practice. You don't develop balls just by wanting to develop balls or just by jumping off a cliff. You have to know what you're doing. You have to do it in little steps and get that rewarding response from other people, which makes you want to keep doing that.
Well, right now it's still in the stage of getting the rewarding experiences from people, and the more I get it, the more I want to,
The more you get it, the more eventually you're closer to having a realization. Because really, the learning, in order to take effect, has to become a realization. And the only way it becomes a realization is through what?
Through practice.
Yes, through the training. The more you practice, eventually you have the realization. Oh, every time you don't even think about it. You don't go, oh, now I need to incentivize this person. You just naturally know, okay, I'm talking to a person. I want to make them happy. So they'll meet my expectations and make me happy. It becomes very fundamental, very common sense to you. It's not a step-by-step process anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of starting where I know if I say certain things, if I go to a store, I'll at least get a smile, or just even if I don't say something spectacular, just the way, hey, what was that? If I just
yes. Did you see the guy at the 7-Eleven counter? Initially, I was talking to him, said something to him. He kind of just looked at me like questioning, but I kept going, kept incentivizing, and then eventually I got a good smile from him, a good response from him, and opened him up. This is exactly just realizing that. I know what he's looking for me to get him to open up. So once I do those things, it just becomes a spontaneous part, a natural part of conversation to know that this is required.
Yes.
It's just like when somebody tells you, make me some dinner, and you don't know what they eat or what they like, what would you do for them? If they just said, make me some dinner, what would you do? Just a foreign person off the street, you met them and they said, hey, make me some dinner, what would you do?
Just do what you know. Make what you know.
Like what? What would you do?
Make chicken spaghetti.
And so you would just give them a plate of chicken spaghetti?
Yeah.
What else?
And a pie.
Okay, and a pie. So you put a plate of chicken spaghetti there, and you put a pie there. What else?
And orange juice. That's about it.
And an orange juice. And what else? So you got a plate of chicken spaghetti, a pie, and orange juice.
Yes.
That's all. That's all you put there.
Yeah.
So you go here. Hey, here's dinner. I'm giving you this guy. He just comes into your house, right? Total stranger off the street. He says, "Make me dinner," and you're gonna make him dinner. Yeah. There's a table. You sit him at the table, and you do what? What do you do now? He's just sitting at the table, waiting for dinner. What do you do?
You serve him your chicken spaghetti, your pie, and your orange juice, and it might meet his need for.
You know what I do? I get him a paper towel to wipe his face. I get him a fork or a knife. I get him everything he needs for the dinner.
It's more like a full service, like the way you convey your experience is much more fulfilling.
Yes, I'm full service, you're half service. This guy has a meal here, but now he has to get it with his fingers? He doesn't know what to do. You're half service. Yeah, I'm full service. So I consider, what do I want when I eat a meal? Well, I want something to eat, some solid food to chew, and then to wash it down, I need some kind of beverage, so I'm not going to just give him a plate of food without some kind of liquid.
Yeah.
because I want some kind of liquid to wash it down. And then maybe I want utensils to eat the meal with. And maybe I'm going to get dirty. My face is going to get dirty, so I want something to wipe my hands off with.
So you're basically going off your needs. You're fine-tuning.
Yes, I'm figuring out what are my needs and fine-tuning. How do I meet those needs? And then I just figure his needs are the same as mine. I just meet them.
And you can do as good as a job as you want. You can put candlelights later on.
There I go. If I want to make it like more enjoyable experience, I could turn on some music. I put candlelight. I could ambience, talk to him, dinner conversation, etc. So I'm like, what would I like? What would be enjoyable to me? It meets my needs.
The other person.
There you go. So it's a very simple process of going, okay, what are my needs? How do I meet them? Then how do I meet another person's needs?
It's the same thing with the girl, right? Like,
it's the exact same thing. This guy is like, now I'm going to jump to girl. His next report is that makes me crazy.
I have to think, I have to tell her, I like you because blah, blah, blah.
Well, his thing is, I don't know what okay, number one, he says, I'm clueless about how to get a date with a girl, so I have to start somewhere. What's the problem with that statement? I'm clueless about how to get a date with a girl, so I have to start somewhere. What's the problem with that statement?
He thinks there's something different when it comes to a girl. I'm clueless when it comes to a girl, whereas with guys, I know what I'm doing, which is not the case.
There you go. It's okay. So he says here, I don't know what exactly these romantic topics are to talk about. I need to start focusing on the female aspect of social interactions. So this is really bugging me. Every time I talk to a girl, I end up in the friend zone. So I don't know where to start.
Well, it sounds like he's figured out the male aspect.
Yeah, sounds like he's already graduated from Manhood Academy. Now he's just now I just need to talk to girls. This guy's fucking insanely retarded. If you know how to talk to guys and incentivize a guy, you know how to give incentive to a girl.
Well, I think what he thought is like a couple of guys in his college are hanging out with him, so he's figured out how to hang out with guys, and now I need to move on to girls.
Yeah, let me talk about that one too. This guy. Who's this guy he just hung out with?
Well, I think that's like a nerd approach. As soon as you see one little thing, he's hanging out with me, I got it.
I got it, yes. Okay, so he says, this is his previous report. Right before that he says, hey man, want to come over to my place? So this is a totally new guy. He just met him. Do we need to cover this thing? Okay, so he's hanging out with a totally new guy.
The guy who just left all of a sudden?
Yeah, this is a guy. Some guy, he thought he was going to get raped or something in his apartment.
Doesn't he see that? He's going to feel weird.
Obviously, he doesn't understand what's going on, so he just thinks he's like playing World of Warcraft, where he just casts a spell, and the guy's going to stick with him for the rest of the day, or the rest of the night, and they're going to sleep together. But, so he says, hey man, want to come over to my place? Well, okay, I've done this where, hey, let's hang out, and I tell a friend, let's hang out, great. But maybe we have something to do. We could play a video game or,
You have to have something fun.
Yeah, if I was going to hang out, maybe I would hang out with Dr. Ladice, who I know already we could just talk, and we don't have to have a pretense like we're playing a game or going to someplace exciting or, going bowling or tennis or some activity as a pretense for us socializing. We could just socialize.
But so,
with this guy, and especially High School 101 doesn't know what to do. So this guy, obviously this new guy has no idea what to do. So they're just he's spontaneously, at least he's kind of creating the situation like, we're going to be trapped in a room together, and I'm going to invite you over, and spontaneously we're going to have good times.
Good time, yeah.
Okay. If a guy doesn't know how to make you feel comfortable, how to give you incentive to want to hang out with him, what does he think is going to happen when he invites this guy over to his place?
He's going to get uncomfortable.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what to do. Yeah. He has nothing to do. What is he going to stare at him? If he doesn't know how to talk to him, the activity is kind of like the pretense for people opening up because now they have a kind of a shared experience. Mm-hmm. Instead of like just being able to volunteer information about themselves and voluntarily bring people into their experiences.
They can use the activity to do
and, ask him questions about him and open him up. Mm-hmm. Instead of doing that, they need an activity as kind of like a pretense to have a shared experience.
To lubricate the social
it's like lubricate the social wheel so they can go, oh, we're both playing basketball together. Now we're having a fun time and you bounce the ball this way and that makes me think of at my home when I used to do this and then I have friends that do this and you have friends that do that and da-da-da. And now it creates a kind of like a reason to keep talking when it's really not the reason. It's just that now you're comfortable doing something with another person. So it's kind of like the pretense to start socializing. Mm-hmm. Just like when you go out with a girl, you can just cut to the chase and go, hey, look, I want to get in a relationship with you and fuck you right now. And, let's go eat dinner or something. Whereas you can just say that to a girl because a girl needs to go through these hoops of pretenses. We need to hang out and have coffee. We need to get to know our favorite color and all this other bullshit because the pretense isn't there. She doesn't feel comfortable enough to open up yet. You don't know how to make her feel comfortable. So you need these kind of, these pretenses called dates.
Dates, yeah.
Where you do something. We make a plan. You know, girls are like, I always want a guy to plan something. Why do they want that?
Because they want somebody to be in charge so they can just go for the ride.
Yes. For what reason? For what purpose?
So that they have a satisfying experience. They have a fun time.
And also, it's not just so they have a satisfying experience. It's so they don't feel uncomfortable. It's so they don't have a bad experience.
Yeah.
They're not as girls aren't as worried about having a good time as they're worried about having a bad time. Girls are more worried about having a bad time. That's how dumb girls are. Instead of worrying about how can we make this a fun time, they're worried about, hey, I hope this time doesn't suck. I hope it's not awkward. I hope it's not uncomfortable. That's how dumb girls are. That's why they need you to plan everything. That's why they need you to make them feel comfortable. That's why I know it's a pretense. Like, I don't even give a fuck what a girl says. Like, if she says, oh, let's go on a date, I'll tell her, yeah, we're going to go on this awesome date. And I'll just say, meet me here at Starbucks or something. And then I don't even talk about the date. I just start talking, I just cut right to the chase of opening up, volunteering information, etc. And once you get past that, then it's like the date becomes irrelevant. Like, going to a carnival becomes irrelevant. If they're having an enjoyable time talking to you, they don't need the carnival.
That is the date. That is their enjoyable time.
That is essentially the date, is you enjoying each other's company, not you enjoying an activity.
Well, yeah, and for the longest time I didn't get it. I was like, date means this elaborate thing, but it's just conversation and you guys having a good time. It's nothing fancy.
Yes, exactly. So everybody else, including High School 1, is still in activity mode. What kind of cool dating protocol do I need to learn before I can talk to a girl? So already he's graduated from Manhood Academy, and he's now trying to pick up chicks. He's going to the Venusian Arts Forum or something. Yeah, he's going to try Mystery Method or something. So he's...
Yeah, because if he figured out how to reward others, he wouldn't have this problem.
Yes, exactly. The problem wouldn't even be there. Okay.
If he calls me up and he tells me, hey dude, I hung out with this guy, I hung out with that guy, and I did this and that he thinks is incentivizing to me.
Great. It's like saying, we're in the same class, I'm in the same classroom with this guy, and we talk about the professor. So now we're bros.
Yeah, and you, Bob, are listening to that. I'm conveying my experience by listing down all these guys that I'm hanging out with, and you're going to enjoy that.
Fucking guy. Okay.
And I kind of told him once or twice, don't do a rundown of who you're just socializing with and expect me to...
Yeah, who cares? Okay, so he says, me, hey man, want to come over to my place? Suggesting an expectation.
That's...
Of course, not in the EM guidelines.
Should be stating an expectation.
Yeah, suggesting an expectation. Fucking guy. Friend number 6.
On Skype,
yeah, hang up. Friend number 6. Sure. Okay. So, he doesn't know what's going on, so he's just going along with expectation. He seemed a little nervous. At around 9:30.
That's like a gay something.
He's like, is this guy going to try and suck my cock when I come over? What's going to happen? I don't even know this guy. This is our first time hanging out. He's looking at his watch. He's like, it's 9:30. It's getting fucking later. What's he trying to do? Is he going to try and get my pants off? He seemed a little nervous. At around 9:30, he glanced at his watch and abruptly told me he had to leave. Hey, bro, I got to get out. I got to get the fuck out of here.
I still not get it, and he's making his...
I like how he writes his stuff down. He doesn't even understand this. In retrospect, I didn't plan that detour. So, yeah, of course you didn't plan that detour. So we had no clue what was going to happen. You know who else didn't have a clue what was going to happen?
High School 101.
High School 101 had no fucking clue what was going to happen.
I don't get what he means. I didn't plan that detour. What does he mean? Why would
He's saying, like, I think he was hanging out.
Oh, and he didn't plan this properly.
Yes. And then, so he just said, hey, let's hang out. He just, like, spur of the moment. Like, he didn't want the good times to end. They were hanging out initially. I guess he planned something with him.
Yeah.
And then they're having dinner or something. And then he's like, hey, I don't want the good times to end. So he's just, hey, you just want to hang out, bro? You want to keep hanging out?
Yeah. And I've done that in college. I mean, it's worked sometimes it doesn't. But again, we were already having fun.
Yeah. I would just say, hey, come on over. Let's go get a brew. Come on. Or let's go do something, whatever.
But eventually there were points where we were both like, what the fuck? All right, man, I'll see you later, bro.
Later, bro.
that used to happen.
Later, bro. Gotta go. Okay, hang on a second. I actually got a new student here. Hang on. Let me see if we can, I don't even know how to get this guy on here. How do I add him?
What's happening in my Skype? I see some activity.
Forget it. We'll keep going. We can't be distracted right now.
Okay.
Okay, so friend number 6, okay, so he's looking at his watch. He's like, I gotta leave. In retrospect, I didn't plan a detour, so he had no clue what was going to happen next. Before he left, we discussed a possible future hangout.
Does he not realize how funny this is?
No, he has no clue how funny this is. Okay, friend number 6. I like how he calls him friend number 6 too.
Yeah, I don't get that. He can just use some first name.
Yeah. Friend number 1.
He's
such a nerd, yeah. It's more confusing to go girl number 1, guy number 7, person number 12. This is more confusing than just saying Sarah, Ben, Michael, Just picking a name. All right. Hello 101. We got a 101 guy. Hang on, number 101. We're in the middle of a podcast. Oh, I wonder if we should get this guy to join.
Who's this, 101?
I don't know. This is some guy in the forum. He just popped in.
It'll probably take him like 20 minutes to come on to one.
All right. If I see anything he says, I'll try and interrupt and get him on the podcast. It's always fun to have a little visitor pop in. Okay, so going back to the report. Okay, so he's trying to get this guy to
take off his pants.
take off his pants. So he says,
that guy's like, I'm running.
friend number 6 suggests this. So he's trying to get a future possible hangout going. So maybe we can hang out again sometime. So it sounds like it's good. If he's suggesting it, that at least implies to me, hey, there was some incentive. Either this guy's so low and he's got no other friends, or he actually did have a good time with High School 101. I wouldn't know, because I'm not going to take his word for it. But I'm looking at the effects here, and the effect of him saying, hey, I want to hang out with you again. Maybe we can meet up again.
I mean, people just say that, hey, yeah, we should hang out
sometime.
Yeah,
you don't know if this is said as a pretense of like, hey, I don't want to hurt your feelings. You're annoying, but I don't want to make you feel bad. So, yeah, maybe we can just meet up sometime again. But I don't know what this is because, again, High School 101 never talks about his incentives. So to me, it just seems like this guy's like, how do I get the fuck out of here?
Even just the fact that the way he talks, I trained this guy. Like, that's so weird that he would talk, I trained this guy.
This is just nerd babble to me. Okay. So passive, indefinite, not stating all this fucking nonsense in the brackets that don't belong there. Okay. Okay, yes. So High School 101 says, yeah, let's meet up at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Stating expectation. I want to lead him in a direction. Okay. Any problem with that?
He doesn't need I want to lead him in a direction. Stating expectation.
Okay, forget about that. That's the least of his problems. Yes, that shouldn't be in there, but what's the major problem here?
Maybe we can meet again sometime.
The guy says, maybe we can meet again sometime, and then HS says,
let's meet up at 4 p.m.
Okay. Any problems? Anything on that?
I see an expectation being stated.
Can you turn the clicking off? Can you turn the volume on the clicking off?
The popper, yeah. Okay.
What's the problem, if there is any problem, or is there a problem?
Well, there isn't an incentive to even state that expectation. There's that problem.
That's a huge problem. That is the only problem. Because if somebody says, it would be like saying to a girl, the girl doesn't like him, and he says, hey, let's meet at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
She'll be like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah. What is the problem with saying, let's meet up at 4 p.m. tomorrow? Especially if there's no incentive. What's the difference between if I say, we had an okay time, right? And I say, let's hang out again. Versus I say, let's hang out tomorrow at 4 p.m. What's the difference to you? You didn't hate me, you don't like me, and I tell you, hey, let's hang out again. Or I say, hey, let's hang out tomorrow at 4 p.m. What's the difference?
Again, I'll be okay because, sometime I'll hang out with you. When you say 4 p.m. and it was alright, I'm like, oh, already? Want to hang out with them again already?
Well, now it's putting you to the decision.
Yeah, and you're like, it makes
and if there's not enough incentive to decide,
there's not enough
how about
incentive.
no?
That could be an outcome, yes.
Yes. And then his friend, okay, we'll see. What's okay, we'll see mean?
That's a girl who doesn't want to see you again.
Yeah, she's all fuck off. But she's not going to say fuck off.
And here it's a guy doing the same thing. A lot of guys act like girls nowadays.
Yes.
I mean, if that guy was really ballsy, he would be like, not till you fix yourself. If you really want to say
that. He's not going to say ballsy. He'll just say like, nah. I don't know. I don't know yet. Yeah. It's basically the same thing. It's like saying, I don't want to commit. If I say 4 p.m., I say, yes, I'm committing to hanging out with you. There's going to be something potentially more fun, more interesting, less uncomfortable to do.
I'd rather do that.
I'd rather do that. I'd rather leave my options open. If there's nothing else and I'm bored to tears, and I have no other friends, then maybe I'll hang out with you. So it's kind of like you're now 6th option.
The last option, yeah.
Bye. Friend number 6. See you later.
What's that? I didn't plan I was worried about annoying him. Well, he should worry about annoying him.
All right. Let's since we're already here, let's cover his next report.
Oh, keeps going.
Girl number 7. Hey, High School, come sit with us. So it's already, they're like buddies hanging out, him and girl number 8 and number 7, thing 1 and thing 2.
Yeah.
So it's girl number 7 and girl number 8. They're hanging out, and I guess maybe they have class together, seems like.
Yeah, Spanish class here.
Right, Spanish class, so they're getting familiar with each other, so they see him walk in. Hey, buddy, come on over. Mm-hmm. Right? So good sign. At least they want him to come over. Yeah. So then he says, girl number 7, you are cute when you do that. When you do what I tell you in Spanish. You are so helpful. It makes me feel warm inside.
There's some rewarding in there.
Yeah. Complimenting her for going along with me. What the fuck is this EM report? This is such fucking garbage.
I know. I said this nervously, but
what is he supposed to say in brackets? Just give me a what he should put in brackets here.
Rewarding with praise.
Yes, very simple. Keep it very simple. But there's all this bullshit in there.
Yeah, why he's writing like this?
It makes me want to not correct it, not read it. It makes me violent reading EM reports like this. Okay, so you are cute when you do that. What I tell you, you are cute when you do what I tell you in Spanish.
That's kind of a conditional reward. Yeah, that's a reward, but you're stating.
He's rewarding her.
Yeah, you are rewarding, except you're also saying a condition as well. So it's
no, you're saying what I tell you to do is. It's not a rule. It's like, hey,
Plum, you're really cool when you listen to what I say. I'm rewarding you. Yeah, I'm rewarding you.
You are rewarding me.
But it still doesn't.
But the fact that you're adding on when I tell you what to do.
And you listen to what I do.
He doesn't have enough incentive to say that to a girl or to a guy. And it's like saying, "Hey, Bargo, you're a cool person whenever you listen to whatever I say."
Uh-huh.
Or, "Hey, Bargler, I like you when you do what I tell you to do."
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Not so good if I don't have enough.
What's the sense if I say, "Hey, Bargler, you're really cool whenever you do what I tell you what to do"?
It's not the best feeling.
Why?
It kind of puts me down, right? Oh yeah, you're really cool when you listen to what I say. It's a little kind of, I don't know, condescending.
Yes, it's like condescending. It's like saying, "You're my puppy.
Yeah,
I'm in charge of you."
Everybody tries to be condescending.
Yes, that is the point. He doesn't realize he is a very condescending person when he does this because he may not. He doesn't intention. To me, it seems like he's so clueless that he doesn't mean to be condescending. He's just trying to be like a nerd and saying, "Look, I'm trying to reward you," but he has no awareness of what it means to say, "You are cute when you do what I tell you to do," which seems to imply that he's trying to go like there's a formula, it's almost like he's listening to what I said before when I say stuff to girls like, "It's cute when you're
from a podcast, yeah.
When you're following directions." I might say things flippantly to girls, and he might not understand that. The reason why I can get away with that.
Enough to be able to say that, though.
Yeah, I have to have enough incentive. There has to be a relationship. Like I can say to a girl that I'm in a relationship with, that already is heavily invested in me. I can tell her, I don't have to say you're cute when you do that. I can say, do what I tell you. Whereas if I told just a girl in a bar, if I told her, hey, do what I tell you, give me a drink. I like it when you buy me a drink. How likely is that to work?
It's not likely to work.
Why?
There is no strong relationship, but there's not enough incentive for her to do that.
Well, if I say, you're cute, you're cute when you buy me a drink. Or if I say, you're cute when you do what I tell you. What's the difference? One is almost it's almost semantics, but one is going to get across the impression that, okay, this act, when I bought you a drink was cute. But to say, you're cute when I tell you what to do, it implies that whenever you're obeying me, if I'm under your authority, then you're cute.
Yeah.
There has to be incentive for somebody to swallow that because that's a huge, tall thing.
Yeah, I think he doesn't get that. No,
he definitely doesn't understand that. To tell somebody, you're cute when you do what I tell you.
Basically, you're saying you're cute when you follow my authority, when the authority is not even established.
Yeah, there's no authority established. That's why it doesn't matter to say you're cute when I do what to tell you. He could be saying you're cute when you say it the way I said it. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to say like this girl, maybe he said here, say it this way, and she says it wrong, and then he says no, say it this way, and she does it right, and then he turns a word and say it. See, when you pronounce it the right way, that was cute. Versus when you do what I tell you, that's cute.
Yeah, the condescending tone it's disincentivizing. He doesn't.
It's not a condescending tone. It's that the way he's stating it makes it condescending. Because when you say it's cute when you pronounce it the right way,
that's all right.
It's rewarding because it's not saying it's both are rewarding, but one is adding the stipulation that it's cute when you pronounce it that way versus it's cute when you do what I tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is one is implying we have a relationship and you're under my authority.
Yes.
The other is just implying I made an observation. It's cute when you're doing that thing that I like that.
Yes.
So she's going to be more apt to meet that because it seems like she's just doing some action. It doesn't relate to, in the grand scheme of things, yes, he's correct. He's trying to get her to do what he likes, what he's telling her to do. But the way he's presenting it with no relationship
Well, for him to do that, he needs to reward her enough before he says that, and he hasn't. So even in the grand scheme of things, it's not.
Yeah, this is almost like a concept. You would tell somebody about a concept like, "You're cute when you obey my directions."
Yeah,
that is the concept. That is the overarching concept of the social interaction. It's to say, when you're meeting my expectations, I enjoy it. I want to reward you. What he's essentially saying is, when you meet my expectations, I'm giving you a pleasurable reward. That is exactly what he's telling her right now.
And I've done that.
What is wrong with telling her that, though?
You have to do that after you reward a girl. It's over time. You reward a girl over time.
No, what if he says to a girl, "Hey girl, number 7, when you meet my expectations,
I like it.
that makes me happy." What is wrong with saying that versus saying, "It's cute when you pronounce it correctly"? What is the difference?
It's cute when you pronounce it correctly. It's
Versus, yes.
It's straight up reward. Like, oh, you're conveying your reaction and it's a pleasurable. Like, oh, it's so cute when you do that.
That is normal conversation when you say, yes, it's cute when you pronounce it like that. I like it when you do it correctly. That is normal conversation. When you are saying, you are cute when you do what I tell you.
Yeah, let's take it in context.
Now because there's no context, she doesn't understand what he's talking about. It's like he's bringing ebook terms into it. It's like he's explaining the ebook terminology, and it's almost he's like mixing so many things here. It's like he's crossing barriers that you can't cross without
enough reward.
Yes, without enough reward, without enough emotional investment from a girl.
Same thing with a guy too. I can't tell a guy, hey,
under what circumstance could I tell a guy, I like it when you're following my directions?
Oh, when you know that guy really likes hanging out with you, then you can say that. Like, he has had an enjoyable time with you in the past, and
I wouldn't want a guy to tell me that. Under what circumstances would I be okay with a guy going, I like it when you follow my directions? Could I tell you that?
Yes.
I like it when you follow my directions.
Yes.
Can your coworker tell you that if you're hanging out at a bar? I like it when you follow my directions and buy me the drink I wanted.
No, he cannot.
What's the difference? Why can I tell you that and he can't tell you that?
There's no reason.
Could he say, thanks for getting me that drink, that makes me happy?
Yes.
Well, why? It's the same thing. Isn't it essentially the same thing when he says, I like it when you follow my directions and buy me a drink?
It's the way he presents it. One is condescending. The other is more palatable. Like, oh.
Okay, what if I say, we're at a bar and I say, you get me a drink and I say, that's good. I like it when you follow my directions. Can I say that?
Yeah, if you give me enough reward, you could. Yeah.
Why can I say it?
Because in general, I know you can like teach me a lot of things.
Because we have a student-teacher relationship.
Yes, you have it. Yeah, you have it. Yes.
We have a certain authority structure that we've established. If I'm not a teacher, I'm just your buddy, and I go, hey, Bogler, I like it when you do what I tell you. And we're just buddies. I'm not in charge of you. I don't have an authority over you.
But that's the concept that a lot of us guys are confused. Like, when we hang out with our buddies, do we have an authority structure among both of us? Like,
your authority structure is like mutual fear. You fear. Why are you meeting somebody's expectations? Because you fear disappointing them.
I like hanging out with them, and I want them to continue hanging out with me in the future.
You fear disappointing them.
Yes.
You fear violating their expectations. You fear violating their authority.
Yeah.
Don't they fear violating your authority?
Yeah.
So there is a mutual fear.
Yes. But it's different from the student-teacher relationship. It's a mutual fear. It's not... In the student-teacher relationship, one is at authority position by default. Always.
Well, there's authority over you, but it's still a... Don't I want to meet your expectations as a student?
Yes, yeah.
So there's a mutual fear still. In a good relationship, there's a mutual fear.
Even with a man and a woman?
Yes. Well, okay. Tell me where the fear is with a woman. Why would you fear a woman?
I want to meet her needs because if I don't meet her needs, she wouldn't want to be with me.
Okay, so do you fear that?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
There you go.
So there's always a mutual fear between two people. Like
there's a mutual authority. A woman has authority. She has your delegate authority. If you're a husband and she's a wife, and you tell her to go tell the kid he's in trouble or go.
The kid, I understand. Yeah.
She's like your deputy. You're the sheriff. She has deputy authority. She's
in
under
terms of you. She doesn't have authority on you.
She's representing you. She doesn't have authority herself. She's representing your authority.
That I understand. But between both of us, there's only the mutual fear.
There's a mutual fear between you and me, and then there's also you and the girl.
Yeah, there's a mutual fear.
Yes, but it's
But we always generally emphasize on her fear for your authority.
Yeah, because we're generally concerned with a guy leading. So But it's almost like unnecessary to talk about the fear you have for her because
of losing her or something.
Yes, I mean,
because if you're doing the right things,
if you're doing the wrong things, you already spontaneously fear not getting in a relationship with her. You already fear not pleasing her to get in a relationship.
If it's not going the right direction, you already know you're screwing up.
Yes.
And you're scared of that, you don't want that.
It's scared of that, but there's also the fact that you're not getting your needs met.
Yes.
This is like the same fear, like if you're with your father who's has authority over you and you're not listening to his directions, you're going to get a spanking, so you fear his punishment. But by the same token, you also fear not getting the reward. Like you fear not getting your needs met. Like let's say you say, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to leave the house. I don't like you punishing me. I don't like you spanking me." Well, if you're not qualified to meet your needs, you don't have a job, you can't get anything to eat. You're afraid of not getting your needs met.
Yes.
So let me see if it's even is that right or relevant to talk about it that way.
It was a little different from the girl guy.
This is a question. I don't know if we've even covered this area. Well, there's the fear. There's the fear because of the authority. Because, with a girl, she's supposed to be in submission to your authority.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily the same as
with the father and son, you are in submission to your dad. The son is in the submission to the dad.
Right. It's not that you're in submission to the woman. It's just that I think the
fear is of not meeting her needs and in the process not meeting your needs.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a different. I don't know if it's necessarily a different type of fear. It's definitely a
fear of not meeting your needs. Yeah, if she's
but I don't know how I would classify it because it's different in a sense that when you have authority, they're fearful of your authority because of your punishment.
Mm-hmm.
But you're fearful of losing the reward she could give you, not of just her punishment. Not of her punishing you in some way.
Yeah, okay, it's different. Yes, in her case, she is fearing your punishment. In your case, you're fearing not getting your needs met.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's necessary or it's right to talk about it in terms of fearing not getting the needs met. It's more fear of when we speak about authority, it's more fear of the punishment from somebody who has authority.
Well, her pleasure has some kind of authority on you, but you kind of want to meet her needs. On her pleasure.
I don't know how to talk about that. We'll have to get back to that.
Pleasure establishes authority.
Yes, that pleasure establishes authority, and pain maintains it. Her pleasure establishes her authority.
Authority. I want to chase her.
Well, let me see if she has authority. I don't think she has authority. She doesn't have authority over you to tell you what to do, but she has she has needs that she wants met. So she definitely has expectations.
Yes, she does. And you
but her way isn't to say, look, I'm going to punish you to get these expectations met. It's either she's unhappy in the relationship and you're unhappy as a result too,
mm-hmm.
or
when I am talking to a girl, I am actually meeting her expectations by conveying my reactions.
Yes.
I am meeting her expectation for a fun time.
Yes. But we're talking about, you brought up the subject of fucking sidetrack of two bros having authority.
Well, because that is a constant thing. Because Yassine was,
okay. Let me talk about it generally then. Okay, in general,
mm-hmm.
the older person has the authority, just like the father has the authority over the son. So this is the general rule rule of thumb.
It depends on the maturity of the person. For example,
it doesn't depend on the maturity of the person. Because you could just make the claim as a child that your parent isn't as mature as you, therefore you should have authority over your parents. Not the case. It's always, as a principle, the older person has authority over you. Just like your father has authority over you. Your mother has authority over you.
What about the wisdom factor? If you can figure out 2 + 2 is 4 and when you're 20 or
it may be more, you may be more functional. This goes into the issue of obeying versus honoring versus obeying. You can honor somebody's authority who's older over you, even though they may be stupider than you. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to obey them if they're asking you to do something dangerous. Like they tell you to, hey, we're going to build a bridge, and I want you to put these logs in this arrangement here, and you know that arrangement is dangerous, and it'll cause everybody on the bridge to be killed. So you could disobey that order, but you still have to respect their authority.
Well, that hasn't been made clear on the side, and sometimes
because it's not necessarily our major issue. Why would we need to get into the nuts and bolts of that? I guess unless you were, is there a reason to get into the nuts?
Well, sometimes the older guys get frustrated with the younger guys, like, oh, these guys are so, like, punks. You look at them as punks.
Yeah, but that's you in high school 101. The problem there isn't necessarily the authority structure. Like, he should be respecting you because you're older, even if you are more retarded. That is
but
irrelevant.
I don't think he understands that.
Yeah, but that's not relevant. What's relevant is your ability to give incentive to each other. You can't give incentive. He can't give incentive.
Like
so what does it matter about respecting your elders or respecting a person who's an authority over you at this point?
When there's no incentive.
You're not giving him incentive in the relationship.
Mm-hmm. He's not. Mm-hmm.
So for you to be outraged when you can't give people incentive is ridiculous. You're causing all kinds of fights on the forum because you don't know how to give people incentive. So for you to complain about this young kid, it's nonsensical. It would be an issue if you were already, you were already creating incentive in relationships with the bros on the forum. Then it might be an issue, but even then, you just wouldn't hang out with him. That would be his punishment. You would say, "Look, I don't want to hang out with you."
Okay. Well,
unless you're doing this, unless you're
the age authority.
What's that?
The incentive is the main thing, and not the authority because of age. Like we were talking about the authority.
There is the authority of the age, but that's
the incentive supersedes it clearly.
No, it doesn't supersede it. It's just that. Let me how to explain this.
Because you're saying it doesn't matter if you're not able to meet his needs.
Yeah, but look, let's say neither of you care about the age issue. Let's say neither of you are saying neither of you are concerned with who is older, who should be respected more. Let's say fucking boggler.
All right, go on.
Let's say neither of you are concerned with this.
Okay.
So at that point, you only care about who's providing incentive.
Okay.
Now, if you cared about, proper authority structure, which is a more deeper issue, then yes, maybe we can get into age and kinship. Who's the father? Who's, are you the brother? Are you the younger brother or the older brother? Are you the mother or the daughter, etc.? Then we can get into authority hierarchy. But right now, we're talking about simple relationships, developing simple relationships. If you can develop a simple relationship, what the fuck does it matter if you care about you're the older person, he's the younger person? Isn't it irrelevant if you can't even create a relationship with him? You don't know how to incentivize him. Why does it matter? Let's say he goes, oh, I'm younger and Bargo's older, so I should respect him. What does that matter if he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you anyway?
All right, so you're clearly saying the incentive is the main thing now. If you can, the incentive is there.
I'm saying in the beginning for retards like you and him who don't know how to even address authority structures, who don't even know, who don't even know how to meet others' needs.
What
is the point of caring about an authority structure, a mother, daughter, father, son authority structure? You can't even maintain a basic relationship. So what does that even fucking matter?
So what you're saying is the structure should come in once you have the ability to meet somebody's needs. The structure is more relevant then.
It's almost like we're addressing a cold caused by cancer versus immediate symptoms like sneezing, coughing, and a headache. It's like we're saying, here's a Tylenol for your headache. Yeah. The need is to get rid of the cancer causing the headache, the cold, the stuffiness. But you have symptoms in the meantime. You have immediate symptoms. Mm-hmm. So it's almost a necessity to address those symptoms first because they're inflicting or they're getting in the way of the ability to deal with the cancer.
Okay. So the incentive is...
So the incentive issue is like the major symptom problem of that is getting in the way of relationships. Mm-hmm. So this is where we're addressing it first. Okay. After you figure out how to address these major issues that are holding you back, then you can worry about having a proper authority structure relationship with people in your society, within the academy, etc., within a family.
Okay.
But at the very least, you need to address the symptoms, which is needing to provide incentive, needing to punish people who aren't meeting your expectations, needing to reward and punish effectively. So those are your two main issues right now that need to be dealt with.
Okay. Honoring versus obeying.
Yes.
And then punishing somebody who's older than me kind of throws me off.
Honoring versus obeying, we already talked about this concept in the ebook, whereas like your dad, let's say he's not as smart as you, you're smarter than your dad. Your dad tells you to build a bridge, that's dangerous. You disobey him because that's dangerous, life-threatening, but you still honor his authority. He's still your dad over you. He's still in charge. Doesn't mean because he doesn't know how to build a bridge or he's stupid, you suddenly take over and go, look, I don't have to listen to you anymore.
I get that, but you said getting your expectation met. Now I'm like, hey, I'm going to get my expectation met with my dad.
Okay, now let me tell you this. Let's say your dad gives you an order that's non-lethal. Like he tells you, hey, I want you to drive to San Diego, but I want you to go by way of, I want you to go east to Las Vegas and then to San Diego. And you go, but Dad, if I just go straight down to San Diego, That'll save me gas. It's much simpler. It makes more sense. It's a smarter choice. What should you do?
Well,
should you take authority over your dad and say, "Fuck you, Dad, I'm in charge now because I know a smarter route"?
Well, you're supposed to obey if it's not life-threatening.
There you go. So there's a perfect example of when his authority as a dad, he's older, he's in charge of you, supersedes your better plan, better strategy, smarter way of doing things.
Okay. What about in my case in High School 101? He's going to get his expectation met, even if I'm older.
What did we talk about? What did we just talk about?
I should listen to what that said, even if I know a smarter way.
Yes.
So, say me in high school. I say, is the same thing applies? I say high school.
No, what did we just talk about regarding symptoms?
Oh, we need to take care of the incentive, by providing, the incentive is the main thing.
So who cares about him honoring your authority or him
when the
him
incentive
doing
is not even there?
There's no incentive, there's no relationship. So who cares about any of that?
Okay. So in the meantime...
Why don't you worry about that after you guys get a relationship?
Okay, so in the meantime, either of us are going to try to get our expectations met, and as long as we do the incentive punishing, it's all good. Because
nobody's giving anybody any incentive, so what the fuck does it matter?
Okay. Well, the problem I'm saying is, like, he's going to be like, I'm going to get all my expectations met. You're right, there's nobody's providing incentives of that.
Who fucking wants to be in a relationship with him?
Nobody.
So what does it matter?
Okay.
It's like nobody wants to hang out with nobody, and you're still worried about meeting their need or meeting their expectations? I don't want to fucking hang out with you. What is the expectation? Where do the expectations even come in?
Okay. All right.
Okay, sweet.
So yeah, so like Ladai said, incentive first and expectations next. Like
yes, there you go. Okay. Oh, did we cover this? Okay, so he's talking to these girls. Fucking back on the EM report. Okay. Telling her how to pronounce some Spanish word. You pronounce it this way. Say it. Stating the expectation. And other frivolous bullshit in the parentheses. Girl spaces out. Huh?
That's that.
Me.
Okay, me. Repeat Spanish word. Say it this way.
Repeating expectation.
Once again in a definite tone.
Good for you, definite. Fucking guy. Pronounces it wrong way. Hola, Joe Law. No, it's hola.
No, I said that you say it this way. I show her the correct way to say it. Getting irritated at repeating myself. I decided that this was the last time I would do that.
Fuck this bitch. Okay.
She says it.
Yeah, and then finally says it correctly. Any problems here?
There's no incentive.
Yeah, same fucking problem, right?
Well, I think...
Do what the fucking way I told you to do it, you fucking bitch!
Then the biggest emphasis we clearly were going in that direction is for us guys to be able to provide incentive to each other because that's the biggest problem every time.
Well, you have two big problems. Not enforcing your expectations, not punishing, and not providing incentive, not rewarding.
Clearly you see it's trying to punish.
Well,
so
good for him. No incentive. Before, could he punish?
Yeah, he didn't.
At the very least, Bogler, don't you realize you need both punishment and reward?
You do.
So why do you make it sound like one is more imperative? That's like saying, Bogler, if I ask you, what's more important, eating or drinking?
They're both required.
Okay, now, which is more immediate, eating or drinking?
They're both necessary.
No. Retardo. Let me make it simpler. Which is more immediate, breathing or eating?
Breathing.
Why?
You can go longer without eating than you can breathing. Like
yes, but which is more necessary, breathing or eating?
They're both necessary.
Yes. So this has to do again with like symptoms and root cause.
Which is more
you still have to deal with the immediate symptoms of something, but they're both. It's still necessary to get rid of the root cause. You can't concentrate on the symptoms. Our focus is not on just getting symptoms. Like if you have a cough, our focus is not to get you cough syrup. If you have a headache, our focus is not to get you headache medicine. It's to cure the problem that's creating all these symptoms. But in the meantime, if your headache is preventing you from doing anything, or your cough is so bad that your lungs are hurt and you can no longer breathe, what is the point of concentrating on curing cancer?
You at least need to relieve the symptoms and provide. So if the incentive can take care of that,
so you need to address both. So in this sense, let me see if the analogy works. You need to enforce your expectations, which nobody could do anyway when they first came to the academy. They'd always let girls walk all over them. Mm-hmm. So he's doing that. He's at least saying no, but now what does he also need to do?
Provide incentive.
Yes, provide incentive for them to want to listen to his no.
But to me, it's easier to punish than reward. I find it's much easier to punish. Because punish is very clear. Hey, don't do that. Be stern. Rewarding.
Tell that to an emasculated guy. Tell that to Jar. Tell that to a guy who has never said no to a girl before.
But once you figure it out, I think it's very easy. Because it's punishing. Okay, punishing is so easy. Hey, don't do that. But it's rewarding. Hey, Plum, wow, that thing in your room, it's fucking amazing. What is that over there? It requires more thought. Punishing is simpler to me. Not that much.
Punishing is much more difficult because it requires confrontation. Whereas it's very easy to teach somebody how to say, hey, I like your hair. Hey, I like the way you did that. There's no confrontation involved.
The degree of saying I like what I like about you is still hard for a lot of people.
That's just practice.
Yes, that's just practice.
You can't practice for confrontation.
You have to have the confrontation.
Look at you, you're a pussy. You still can't get people to meet your expectations because you don't enforce your expectations.
Yes, but
it's much easier for you to provide incentive.
Say that again?
It's much easier for you to provide incentive, to reward people.
Okay. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Yeah, you're right.
So there you go.
Even though I know punishment is easier, it's still harder to do. Like the concept of,
yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, you can't do it.
The concept of punishment is easier than expression.
Thinking about it is easier.
Yes.
It's so stupid, Bogler. You're essentially saying the exact same thing and undermining your own point that you just said. It's harder to teach. It's harder to reward somebody than to punish them.
In terms of conveying my experience, the concept seems more practice.
It takes more practice maybe to learn how to give somebody incentive, but it's harder to punish somebody because that requires confrontation.
Yes, I agree. Okay. Even though it's a simpler concept.
Glad we covered that. Okay. Girl number 7, don't... Okay. Oh, wait. I didn't even read the rest. Did I read the rest of this report? Oh, fuck. I don't think I read the rest of this report. She said the word correctly, blah, blah, blah. I told her what to do.
More or less the same thing. I don't know.
But she still had violated my expectation that she listened to me when I'm talking. I wanted to take care of this right now, but I did wait about a minute or so before I tried to punish her. About a minute later. Girl 7, don't just drift off when I'm helping you. That's rude.
Attempting to punish Girl 7 for not listening, stating bad behavior, and giving it a negative association.
Girl 7.
Okay, Girl 7. I wasn't drifting off, I was listening.
Justifying herself. Yes, you were. Justifying himself unnecessarily. Girl 7, I just miss you. I just miss what you were saying. More bullshit. Me ignores her and continues the next Spanish sentence. Okay. Anything wrong here?
Same thing. I mean, the brackets is all off.
Yeah, the brackets are all off. Fuck the brackets now at this point. We all know this report is a piece of shit, but I'm talking about the general principles here.
If he's trying to teach somebody, I guess he has some authority. But other than that...
These aren't like... I doubt this is like a student-teacher relationship.
Okay, I mean, at least he's trying to be her teacher. He sounds like that. Don't drift off when I'm helping you. That's rude.
Any problems other than your retarded assessment of a non-existent student-teacher relationship?
There's no incentive for that girl to take the way he's talking.
Yeah, he's like I would go, hey, well, who's this fucking psycho? Yeah, get the fuck away from me. I was really afraid of justifying myself further. Okay, whatever. But my goal was to get in a relationship with a girl 7. I don't know how to get from point A to point B. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think we covered that.
Yeah.
That was just torture. All right. Next. Can I delete that one finally?
Yeah, I think you covered it thoroughly.
Okay.
Extensively
And thoroughly. So we're back to film and lecture section, podcast topics. Which one was that? Was that the first one?
Well, you went from the last, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I did I clicked on the first topic though. Click on the first one, the very top.
Thing. Oh, all the way on the first page?
Does that go to High School 101's report, the first one?
No, that'll be on the last page.
The very first.
Right, it does go to
yeah, so I'm going to delete both of those. Okay, so I deleted that one, and delete the one at the bottom. Fuck. Come on, forum, stop being so slow. Okay. Delete. Okay, next one. Top, very top.
Let's go. Top, 9336.
Okay, what's this? Clicking... The Don! Is this a new kid? Yep, this is a new kid. I like his little avatar. Some dude stabbing him.
Well, I mean, even in the chat, nobody's providing enough incentive for you to even be that interested. So clearly, the incentive is, as we discussed, the main issue, important issue.
Good for you. Okay, where to begin? My name is Don Quack.
Let's see what happened with Don Quack.
Don Quack, blah, blah, blah. I know there's a reason.
Oh, that's matriculation.
My current relationship, your grammar is fucking terrible. You sound like a turtle. I have no idea what a turtle sounds like. I'm humorous. Go to Google. Type in learn basic grammar. Pick a site. Pick a lesson each week. Add it to your schedule. Welcome to Manhood Academy. Don't let blah, blah, blah. Okay, it bothers me in my current profession, blah, blah, blah. We'll cover this in the next podcast. Okay, here's the point. So, alright. What? Me and my father had an odd agreement.
Oh, we'll cover this in the next podcast, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what we're covering.
Well, he has a huge post and then he will write that. Maybe something about his upbringing.
Did he say anything in there that was worth covering? I'm writing about proofreading.
Yeah. Is this the guy he said he got raped by a chick or something, which is kind of weird?
I need to remember to, like, cut and paste the chunk that I specifically want to cover instead of doing the stupid topic method.
I think this guy said it doesn't feel that much emotion. Or wait, what did he say?
Gynecologist.
I don't socialize at the bare minimum.
I grew up from a kind of jaded country.
Children love me.
Mother. Enter Liz's mother. Shrink. Mostly counseling into the existing common nihilism. But I have a purpose. Blah, blah, blah. Early 10 years, my sister began sprouting children. Abusive relationship.
Oh, yeah, he talks about how he doesn't have that emotion strikes. I don't, which is not true, I think.
Where's that? Infantry school was not hard.
Nihilism. He's like, I have difficulty getting angry. I fake anger, I fake sadness.
I fake anger, I fake sadness.
I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
After discharge, I went back to New York to study. Didn't feel like living off my parents. Winging it. Failed miserably. Blah, blah, blah.
That's the thing that stands out to me in this.
Hooked up with a personable and a female and became a mangina. No, you were already a mangina. My relationship with her is unique. What do you hope to get out of Manhood Academy? Okay. Insight on Manhood Academy. What have I been missing, doing wrong? How to correct these wrongs? What is he saying here? What do you hope to get out of Manhood Academy?
How to correct these wrongs, yeah.
Why is he asking questions? I don't understand this.
Maybe that's what he's expecting out of Manhood Academy as to how to correct these wrongs.
Okay. Insight on the manhood? Fuck, I wish these people would learn how to speak and type in English. Insight
on insight on the manhood.
What is manhood? What's the insight on the manhood, Boggles? What's the insight on that? What have I been missing and doing wrong? Let's cover it generally. Okay.
What stood out in this?
What's manhood?
Huh?
What's manhood?
What's manhood? Your authority over a woman. A man's authority over a female.
Your ability to get your expectations met to exercise authority over a woman.
Yeah, that's the manhood in a nutshell.
Your ability to punish and reward correctly. Okay. How to correct these things. Practice, read, listen to the podcasts. How to incorporate these teachings into workplace life.
It's the same thing everywhere.
Same thing everywhere.
Same principles everywhere.
Only male in the ped maternity here? Only male? Oh, so he's probably working in some
nurse thing, yeah.
Only male in the ped maternity.
I guess there's a bunch of chicks and...
Okay, so that's irrelevant. Learn how to want things. Learn how to want things. What? I do not speak to people unless I need something from... You need to learn how to fucking read out loud. So people will... When they read out loud, I think they'll be embarrassed by what they write. Yeah. I don't know how they fucking sound this out in their head, but if I said, learn how to want things to myself, I would punch myself in the face if I wrote that. You
feel bad when you hear that. You're like,
yeah. Fuck, why did I write that? It sounds like bullshit. I do not speak to people unless I need something.
Most people don't like to read out loud because they feel like shit, it's just laziness.
It is laziness, okay. I do not speak to people unless I need something from them, or I directly benefit from it. Which is like most people, okay.
Okay.
For example, in other words, if I need a copy of homework notes...
Why is that relevant? Why are we talking about it?
I don't know. If we are in a study group and I know everything, you better ask me because I will not talk to you. Your presence is not required.
I see some kind of introvert, whatever, closed off.
So he wants to learn how to want things.
How to get things, or I don't know what he means by that.
Oh, okay. I think this is like, how do I get you to do this? You better ask me.
Again.
This is basic expectation management, and the problem here is you're not providing incentive, obviously. So he's developed basic antisocial behavior. I'm not going to talk to strangers because he doesn't know how to talk to strangers, so he's not getting rewarding experiences. So of course he's not encouraged to socialize with anyone. This is understandable. Yeah. Most people don't want to deal with strangers or new people because they're a headache when you don't know how to deal with them.
Yes.
Socialization to me is a want, not a need. Well, it's a need. I do socialize, but at a bare minimum.
So why are you covering this to clear his delusions?
Yes. We're clearing delusions now. Children love me. Babies love me, and cats love me. No, they don't love you, because when they grew up and they realize what you're like, they wouldn't love you. So you're deluding yourself. They don't love you.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that, like moms. Children are so they love me. There's this unconditional love. They don't think of the future.
Yeah, they don't think when they grow up that the children will realize, no, this is not close to love. This is pity. This is me being comfortable with you being my mom. But if you are a person who doesn't know how to punish and reward as a parent, that love is on shaky ground. Okay. I train myself to be that way. I engage kids to make a lasting memory, to learn from the experience to better handle them. With adults, I find I do not need lasting relationships with them. This is not true. Perhaps it's a bit hypocritical. It's not hypocritical, it's delusional. While in the Army, I need to form relationships to increase my squad mates' survivability and by proxy my own. I left the Army. Relationships ended, though not for lack of trying on their part. Some contacted me and we would chat. I would always wonder what was the point. Yes, what was the point of your chatting? You're probably talking about weather, what do you do for a living, how's it going? It's all pointless. If it's not meeting your needs when you're socializing, if you're not having an enjoyable time talking to somebody, it's just like with a girl. You're not hanging out with a girl to solve world hunger. You're not hanging out with a girl to what's that? To talk about work. You're not hanging out with a girl for the point of just eating a meal together. It's not so you're not moving in with her just so you can save money on the rent. And if you are just doing that to save money on the rent, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
The point is, she fulfills a social need. That's why you're hanging out with her.
Mm-hmm.
Same with your bros. We don't talk to bros just because, hey, you're at the academy, it's a convenient thing to do. This is a social need. You're exploring how to get your social need met.
Yes.
Right now, they're strangers to you, and you have no reason to care about them because you don't know how to form a relationship with other people yet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to incentivize them and then get them to meet your expectations, get them to meet your needs. If people aren't meeting your needs, there is no reason to be in relationships with them. That's why people are in relationships with cats and plants and children. Because cats, plants, and children are basically furniture. They don't require you to have any social skills.
Huh. Yeah.
Some contacted me and we would chat, blah, blah, blah. So they're just not meeting your social needs. That's why you don't care about talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
I sure didn't gain anything. In fact, I lost time in pointless exchange of words. Yes, I would say this is most people's experience socializing. This may be my father speaking in me, but do I need to speak to you? Do I need to speak to you? No particular person? What?
His father kind of taught him as a young guy, like basically the philosophy, do I need to speak to you? What do I gain from this?
Okay. What do I gain?
Not the person gain.
If the answer is happiness alone, then that isn't enough.
So I guess that's how his dad was.
What does the other person gain? Is that counterproductive? I think his number 3 answer, if the answer is happiness alone, then that isn't enough. I think is a very vague and even delusional.
Well, I guess his dad was like,
view of
there should be
happiness.
another point of it, like maybe you're getting a business transaction. If it's just happiness, what's the point of?
Well, I think his definition of happiness is not happiness. I mean, well, let's put it this way. Happiness is based on happenstance, things that happen to you. I'm happy I went to Disneyland. I'm happy because a birthday party happened for me. Okay. So maybe in that sense, if things just happen and you're happy in an emotional way as a result of, you ate a meal and you're happy because you ate that meal, like you got a happy meal from McDonald's.
That's not enough?
It's not satisfying, ultimately, but it's happy. It's a happenstance thing. It's enjoyable for that time that you're doing it.
So he wants more than that.
He wants well, I don't think he even knows what he's talking about. I think he's more referring to satisfaction, which is like a deeper condition beyond happiness.
Okay.
I wouldn't equate the two, but I think people loosely interchange happiness and satisfaction. So that's why I would use satisfaction in the sense.
Because you could be happy getting high on heroin, right?
Yeah, you could be happy getting high on heroin, but ultimately you're not satisfied.
Yes,
exactly. That's a great example. So I'm going to answer his question by answering it. I'm answering satisfaction, not happiness.
Okay.
So if the answer is satisfaction alone, then it isn't enough. Well, I would say he hasn't experienced satisfaction. So I would say his definition is wrong.
Okay.
Me and my father had an odd agreement, 50 words a day. The girls had somewhat of the same rule, but he was more lax. I don't recall.
Yes, in this book they only use 50 words, at least 50 words.
Okay, don't know. I think I covered that one.
Yeah, all right.
Let's get out of there. That confused me. Okay, next one. Does anybody read the EM guidelines? Fuck, motherfucker. I hate going over these stupid cocksucker EM guidelines.
Well, that points to high school post.
Yeah. All right, let's cover them. Just go through them, Bogler, because if I have to cover these things, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Go to the EM guidelines, you mean?
Yes. I'm going to delete these topics while you're covering them.
Alright, on forum, go to EM guidelines, expectation runway. Okay, your EM post should look like this. Just read the whole, put spaces between your paragraphs. Bold your speakers.
Pretend you're me. How about that?
Put spaces between your paragraphs. Bold the speakers in your EM reports. And put spaces between names. So, if, example, pleasant fellow, have it in bold. Say the speaker is pleasant fellow, have it in bold. And have a sentence, and have a space, and then the next line say sign to a girl, have the girl in bold, and then what she says. Then, when you're punishing and rewarding, make sure you state the specific type of punishment or rewarding going on. So, an example would be.
Hold on, I'm falling asleep, Bogler. Let me do this.
That's right.
Expectation management. Fuck! Come on, click. Can you link me, Bogler? God
Here.
damn it. Motherfucker. Never mind, I'm there already. Too late. Alright. Okay, so where do we leave off here? Spaces. Put
Spaces. And then
spaces
specific type.
between paragraphs. Don't put a fucking wall of text there. When you have a new idea, a new thought, put a space there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make these weird fucking line breaks. When you click submit or post,
What do you mean by this weird line breaks? I never get that.
after you do that, if you looked at the example, you would know. After you do that, look at your fucking paragraphs and see, are the paragraph breaks touching, or is there a space between them like there should be?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be an asshole like Bogler, who used to post on some weird word processing, some weird word processor like Microsoft Word or something. I don't know what it was, but it always made these bizarre line breaks where you knew there was a new paragraph, but they were touching. Take a look.
So,
Wait,
yeah, so
go
have
to your
some
post.
presentation.
Post it and then look at it. Does it look correct?
Yeah.
Are there spaces between paragraphs? I want to see spaces. Bold the names of the speakers and put spaces between their names. The examples are there for you. Next, add commentary in brackets, not parentheses. That illustrate the concepts from the ebook. Add commentary in brackets to illustrate the concepts from the ebook. Be sure to list the specific type of punishment or reward you're using. Okay, examples. Stating my expectation. She's violating my expectation and punishing me with rejection or scolding. Here she's punishing me by scolding. Here I'm rewarding her with praise. What do you notice about these things? Boggles?
Very specific and clear.
Yes, very specific and very clear. Straight to the point, right? Very easy for me to correct. No bullshit to decipher. Pay special attention to any attempts to justify yourself. Why?
Because that is a big problem with guys inappropriately justifying themselves to girls.
Yes. When should you justify yourself, Bogler?
When the other person fears your authority.
Yes. When should you not justify yourself?
When the other person does not fear your authority.
Yeah, very simple. If you knew that would be, half your problems would be gone. That is a huge problem, just not even being able to identify where's the violation of my authority taking place and why am I justifying myself to this person.
Yes, because most guys it's been habitual for so many years that...
Habitually they start rewarding people. What is a justification?
It's a reward because you're reasoning.
So what are you doing if you're justifying yourself to somebody who doesn't fear your authority?
You're rewarding somebody for violating your expectations.
So what is that doing to them?
It reinforces them to keep violating.
Yes, it encourages them. It says, good job fucking me over. Keep fucking me over. Thank you for violating my expectations. Here's a treat. Keep doing it. Please keep violating my expectations.
Yes, but when you don't know what you're doing, you think your reason will get through to that person.
You think your reward is you think you're gonna bribe them into listening to you.
Right.
You think you're gonna bribe them into meeting your expectations. If I just explain it, this awesome bribe is gonna work. No, asshole, it's not gonna work.
Not gonna work because the person is in a disorderly state right now and it's not gonna work.
Great. Okay. Right way to justify. Okay, cover that. Check to see if the right direction was provided after punishing and exposing the wrong direction expectation. Check to see if the right direction was provided after punishing and exposing the wrong direction, the wrong expectation. What does that mean?
Well, a lot of times, like me in high school, we want to punish, but then we forget to give them an alternative in a proper expectation to replace their dysfunctional expectation.
Give me an example of the wrong way to do it and a right way to do it.
Wrong way to do it. hey, say me, Bogler, and High School 101 are talking, and then I'm like, hey, let's go to In-N-Out. High School 101's like, hey, let's go to In-N-Out. And I'm like, no, that place sucks. You're a dumbass. Let's not go there. That's the wrong way to do it, because we both need to eat, and I rejected his expectation.
Okay.
But I didn't give him, the right way to do it is like, High School 101 was like, hey, let's go to In-N-Out. And I'm like, no, let's not go to In-N-Out. That place is really bad. Like, they serve crappy food. Let's go to Burger King instead. They have this fantastic new item on the menu that's really healthy. So
Okay.
I'm giving him a right direction after rejecting his direction that I do not want us to follow.
Right. You can't just tell somebody no. You have to tell them yes to something. You can't just say don't do that. You have to also say do this instead.
Which is a very important part, because like just punishing somebody is a big thing for a lot of guys, and they're like, oh, I punished, I'm done. But that is not the case. You have to make sure they're given an alternative, expectation.
Not alternative. That's not a car part. An alternative.
Alternative.
It's not an alternative.
Expectation.
Yeah, so you need to give them an alternate expectation, which means you need to give them the right expectation, not an optional expectation. You need to tell them to stop going in this bad direction and go in this good direction. If you don't provide the good direction, you just say don't do that bad thing. Don't do that bad thing. It's useless. It's just like people telling you don't do drugs. What's the problem with the campaign that just says Boggles, hey, don't do drugs?
It just gets nagging, I think, sometimes if you don't provide
What's the problem with saying, hey, don't do drugs, Boggles? I'm a PSA. I'm your parents. I'm the cops. Kids, it's bad. Don't do drugs. What's wrong with that?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do? You don't tell me anything. I want to fucking do drugs to get away from your PSAs. Because they're just stupid and nagging.
Play with your friends instead.
Yes, play with your friends. Go have a relationship. Go do something. The reason people are doing drugs is because what?
Because they're not having relationships.
Yes. So asshole saying don't do that isn't going to help.
Yeah.
You have to give them something to do. You have to give them a direction to go in. Here's how to form a relationship. Then don't do drugs. It's not just don't do drugs.
So the right direction is a reward.
Yes.
So after you punish them, rejecting their wrong direction, you have to reward them, giving them the right direction.
Yes. Well, that's assuming they're fearing your authority. Because if you punish them, that means they're submitting. Now in their position to listen. Now if they're ready to listen, then you reward them for listening to you. You give them direction. You give them incentive.
So check to see if the right direction is provided after punishing and after they are in a submitted.
You don't give them the direction until your punishment has been effective.
It's effective, yeah.
Until they submit to your authority.
Well, that is not clear in the guideline. Check to see the right direction is provided after punishing and exposing the wrong direction. Also check to see, that's not there, also check to see if they're in submission now. You're assuming that the punishment was effective?
Well, I was assuming they'd know that when I said after, meaning after. Okay, so let's say I would go AFTER. Okay,
punishing and exposing the wrong direction.
Well, I said it in the example, like I said, rewarding her with love and affection and justifying myself to her after she submits to my authority. Appropriate. But I want to say that, check to see if the
right direction
was provided after punishing and exposing the wrong
direction, in addition to verifying if they're in a...
This should only be done if
the other party is
fearing
authority.
Party
is now fearing authority and ready to listen.
This should only be done if the other party fears. Yeah. Let's put that in bold. This should only be done if the other party fears.
Now fears your authority.
Yeah, let's put now fears. Let's put that in huge print too. Let's go.
Now fears your authority.
Huge. If this should only be done if the other party now fears
your authority and is ready to listen.
Your authority and is ready to listen
to your right direction.
To your direction. Explanation.
It's reasoning, whatever.
Reason. Explanation. Reasoning. Justification. We'll put all four of them there. Same thing.
Justification is the right direction if the other person is fearing your authority. It's like providing them, the reason.
Yeah, it's like saying, I don't have to give you a reason. I'm in charge, that's the reason. But now that you're listening to me, I can tell you a reason why.
Alright. And that is...
Don't cross the street. And then I could say, don't cross the street because you'll get hurt. Okay. I don't have to tell you to don't get hurt if you're not listening to me. I just have to tell you don't cross the street, and if you cross the street, I'm going to spank you.
Yeah.
Now if you're listening to me, I can say don't cross the street because you'll get hurt. Okay. I can explain why now.
Yes.
Because now you're under my authority and you're listening. Okay, next one. Let's see here. Fucking slow cocksucker forum.
I know, what's up? Sometimes the forum is slow.
Fucking pisses me off.
The servers.
Fucking server. Okay. Where are we? Right direction, now fears your authority. Okay. Next, state only relevant facts, observations, and commentary. What's this mean, Bogler?
Especially as a new student, don't write a bunch of delusional commentary that, may or may not apply. Stick
it may not be delusional.
Yeah, but as a new guy, whatever, stick to what the punishment and rewarding going on in the interaction rather than the commentary. The main focus is the observations. What is relevant? Okay, what is relevant to the interaction directly, not like a whole bunch of, I don't know how to explain this, pretenses.
Yeah, fucking guy. You can't even explain the simple concept. Anything that's extraneous, that doesn't belong. You had a nice day out. It was a nice day outside. It was warm. There were trees. There were birds chirping. And then I talked to this girl.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, why are you telling me about this? This is not an expression post. You don't need to tell me about birds chirping. It's not relevant to your expectation management.
Yeah, keep it relevant to the interaction.
Yes. Hopefully, one day Bogler will be able to explain these things because he has practiced expressing himself and can bring people into his experience. This also includes sharing his knowledge, sharing his wisdom.
Right.
Avoid editorializing. Stick to observations. This means avoid what?
Mind reading, coming up with all kinds of reasons for why something might have happened.
Yeah, stop fucking talking about social interaction like you know what the fuck you're talking about. You're here to learn social interaction. Just give us your observations.
Okay.
If you're going to make a prediction or you're going to talk about what's going on and why, you better fucking know the ebook and better have some experience.
Yes.
I don't care about your guesses. I don't care about High School 101's theories on what the girl is thinking and if she's doing this or the guy thinks that. I don't care about that. I want to look at the observations made. Okay. Don't use the term pleasure and pain. Why are these assholes continually using the terms pleasure and pain, Bogler?
Because they don't pay attention to the updated directions.
Yeah, because they're assholes.
Yeah, and also maybe they don't realize how silly it is to say I'm applying pain.
Yeah, why do you think we got rid of it in the first place? So you guys already sound like fucking dorks and nerds. We're trying to make it so simple that you sound like a normal person now. Now it makes sense when I say reward somebody, punish somebody when they're doing something like that.
Makes much more sense, much more succinct, yeah.
So why don't we use the terms pleasure and pain?
Because
did we get rid of the concepts of pleasure and pain?
Pardon?
Did we get rid of the concepts of pleasure and pain?
The concepts of pleasure and pain still exist. It's just that the terminology, we use better terminology, which makes sense to everybody. It's much simpler to say, hey, reward somebody or punish somebody.
Reward means there's merit. It means you deserve it. Same with punish. It means you deserve it. You're not just arbitrarily.
Deserved pain and punishment.
This
pain
means
and pleasure.
If I just apply pain or
for
apply
no reason
pleasure,
at all, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make as much sense as to say
it has to be merited.
Yes.
So that is why the reward and punishment it makes it more specific. It's understood that
it's clear because there's a direction now. With just apply pain, apply pleasure, there's no direction. That's why we say reward and punish, because it shows this is deserved. We could also see if you're doing something where it's not deserved. Like if you're punishing when somebody is following your directions.
That is dysfunctional.
That's dysfunctional. You shouldn't be punishing right then.
Yeah.
That shows you don't know how to apply pain, apply pleasure. It means you're applying them arbitrarily.
Arbitrarily.
This is why we're using these terms.
Based on your emotions or something.
Yes.
It should be based on your expectation violations.
Yes, it should be based on whether they're or not they're fearing your authority. There you go. Okay, check your grammar. Hold on, let me rephrase that. Check your grammar, you asshole.
Yeah, because bad grammar really messes up the reading. People don't want to read.
Yeah, and nobody wants to read when they see all these fucking chunks left out. I'm embarrassed when I read my own posts and people quote me and it's like, it's so fucking terrible. I got to go back immediately. If I see a quote from the ebook or from my posts, like somebody quoted me from one of my expression posts and I read it, I was like, fuck.
I sound like that, yeah.
I'm an idiot, and it makes me ashamed, and I have to go back and correct it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and read your stuff and you find errors, fucking correct it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being an asshole.
Yep, that's the point of that.
Use the text area button when quoting from the ebook. Okay, nobody quotes from the ebook. It's high school.
Yeah, because when you do that, it makes it very clear. You know, okay, this is from the ebook.
And also, he took something that I didn't realize came off this way, but it seems like I meant to say that. Your conversation should be in the white box, in the text area box, where you say girl, boy, or me and the other person talking. I didn't really care if that was in the white box or not. But High School 101 read it because I put the examples in the white box to kind of set them off.
But you didn't state that.
Yeah, I didn't state that, but he thinks it means that the conversations belong in white boxes. That's not how I meant it. I just meant it to show the examples. Yeah, he's hardcore. I mean, that's fine though. It makes it much easier to read. Whatever's more easier for me to correct. Yeah, more presentable. That's fine. I don't care. But I just wanted to make sure that things like where you're quoting from the ebook are in
I don't know,
text
see, I
area.
think it's distracting because if you're using the box for the ebook, keep it only for the ebook. Now you're using box for the conversation. Box
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was considering that when I was looking at that, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's a little bit confusing. So yeah, I think now that you stated that, I would prefer if
keep it for the ebook content.
yeah, keep the ebook in the text area box so it's easy to identify that's ebook content. So again, not required and not recommended that you put them in the white boxes. Although I'm not going to be real militant about that point.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, your whole EM report is going to have a lot of conversation. You don't want to keep our boxes everywhere. You keep the white boxes just for the ebook.
Yeah. These EM guidelines are mainly for reporting actual conversations. I wish I could read it in English. Actual conversations where the meat of EM takes place. If you're reporting trends, observations, a general outline of an interaction or realizations that have to do with your EM, they should go in here. Like a lot of people are writing in their expression posts, EM reports.
Well, here's the thing. All right, so I had this interaction. I vaguely remember something, and I'm like, "Fuck! I don't know how to write like this."
Yeah, but if you're talking about you're getting your expectations met or not met or a problem, that should all go in EM.
Well, then I can't. I remember a vague thing. I don't know, like line by line.
Well, if you read it after you post it and it has to do with your expectations, put it in EM. Or copy and paste the part that belongs in EM and put it in EM.
But then the moment they do that, you expect this format.
No, there are people that post about their expectations that don't post a dialogue. They just, this is only applying to dialogue. Yeah. Your general thoughts about your EM. Yeah, this is all dialogue based. If you have dialogue with an actual person where you're recording the dialogue as close to possible verbatim. But if you just want to talk about a general interaction and you're just discussing it in general, go ahead and put it in the EM guide or in the EM section.
Okay. All right.
The EM guidelines are supposed to create a uniformity of response so newer students can grasp what's going on.
Yeah, everybody is on the same page.
Yes, that's the whole point. Let's put everybody on the same page and stop being individual assholes. Let's all be a team here.
Yeah. Well, you need to add that I can't edit it.
Yes. Teamwork. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next. Okay, we got that out of the way. Next one.
Let's see.
2:30. Fuck, we're not going to get through all these. Why do I always delude myself and think we're just going to rush through all these? I never anticipate your questions. Got a podcast coming up for you, broster. Okay, I think we already podcasted about that. Next is...
Backhanding process. Why did that come up?
Let's see, what's next?
Dude, the third link brings up Concrete's backhanding practice for some reason, which I don't know why.
I don't know. Let's see here. I suppose we'll be covering the expression section of the ebook on the next podcast. Okay. This is a really good point. I'll try and make things less fever dream-like in the future. Got any bro tips on how to be focused and still keep it true to my reactions to experiences, i.e. not boring as hell? Oh, first I wrote this to Harpo. I wrote, this entry reads like a high school chick confessional. I have no fucking idea what's going on.
I know what you're talking about.
I know. So let's go to the ebook.
Which link is this?
Forget it. We're just going to go to this expression post.
Ebook?
We're going to talk about expression because this is a huge problem for a lot of people.
Huge problem.
Huge problem.
Mega.
Okay, this is our last thing we're going to talk about, so we're just going to stop here. So let's get to it. Okay, ebook.
Oh, ebook. Let me try to pull it up. The Principles of Social Competence.
Principles, Principles.
Oh, you got a Mac, so you can pull it up.
Let's see here. 101.pdf. Here we go.
Okay. Alright, what page? Are we going to the last part, I guess?
We're going to expression section, which is probably at the end here somewhere, I'm guessing. Tell me what page number. Training your expression.
Section 3.
Is this page 260?
Yeah, it's probably towards the end. When expression is so important, it's the end. I don't know.
Maybe we should make this a separate podcast. The next podcast will just all cover expression.
Oh yeah, I agree. That'll be very beneficial.
Okay, fuck it. We're going to stop here. We're going to cover... Next podcast is just going to be all expression. Remind me. That'll be our whole podcast, because that's the big, huge... I think that'll cover a lot of the issues.
Pardon?
I think that'll cover a lot of the issues that come up.
So everywhere, whether like splitting of an atom, getting specific degrees, like fucking everywhere, expression, like every nuance of it.
Yes, we must cover expression. Okay. Thank you, Bogler. It's been a long, enjoyable podcast, as always. I enjoy having you as co-host.
Alright, I'm glad. And I enjoy being on the podcast.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Alright.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Beep. Out. Here we go. We got one of our newer students on here at the tail end of our podcast with Bogler. Why don't you introduce yourself just with your forum handle? Who are you?
Amon Amarth?
On what?
Amon Amarth. You want the username, right?
Oh, Amon Amarth. Right. I was like,
Right.
what the hell was that? Yeah, you're the alphabet soup name that I didn't even bother pronouncing. Yeah, sometimes there's guys on there like, hey, I'm Mike, or hey, I'm Dr. Chaos, or something stupid, and you are some amalgamation of, stuff you could break your neck on trying to pronounce. Amana Margarita. It's just,
Okay.
I'm going to call you Snaky Guy, because that's much easier for me to say. Snaky Guy.
Okay.
Okay, we're back again. Our new asshole student decided he'd share all his visa information, his credit cards, his passwords, but we had to instruct him that no personal information should be released at any time on the podcast or online, just for his safety and our safety. Keep your hands in the ride at all times. Okay, Mr. Snaky Guy. He is the guy who is, I'm going to spell his name out because I definitely won't be able to pronounce this. Amonamar something. But he's the guy with a little snaky icon. It's very distinctive in the chat room. I love when guys do they have the white space around their name, or around their avatar, so you could actually see the outline of their thing, whatever it is, and it looks like a little snaky S. I thought it was just a little S because, the chat room always compresses it. But it's a little snaky guy. So this is Mr. Snaky Guy that starts with the letter A. So if you're looking in the chat room or online, you're looking for the snaky guy, it's Mr. A. Did you go to the orientation section yet and read any of the posts for the new students?
Yes.
Okay. Have you filled out your student or introduction yet?
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, you did. Okay. I'm on that right now. I just clicked on that.
I'm pretty sure you yelled at me on that too.
Did I? Let me see if I yelled. I generally don't yell online because I type and I can't scream at the screen, but let's see.
It was something, it was grammar.
Go back and proofread this. Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of students. I mean, me as well included here. We write stuff and then we click post and we don't bother proofreading any of this shit. So, sometimes you leave out words. I'm not a big stickler for super duper tight grammar, but don't leave out words.
No, I have giant problems when I'll write something and I'm missing a word.
Yeah, exactly. So that is...
And I go back and read it and I fix it in my head without fixing it on the paper.
Right. That's why it's called reading out loud. We recommend for students that have this problem to read out loud until you are confident enough where you can get by with maybe one or two errors in your post. That's, I'll live with that. But I see tragic errors everywhere, repeated, words left out, words butchered. A lot of people are making like these just silly errors where they're putting commas and periods and things where they don't even belong in the sentence. Just very basic errors that you could catch should be caught. So this whole thing was a chore to read. I don't even know if I read all this. Maybe let me check here. Yeah, I did. So blah blah blah. High school, junior year, blah blah blah. So did you go back and correct this?
I think, yeah, I did. I probably didn't do very well because I suck at proofreading in general, but.
Well, I didn't ask you to write a 5-paragraph essay on, Mount Washington. All I wanted you to do was fix the obvious errors. Okay. What would have been a good idea is after you had corrected this, if you had written or had responded in your post and said, reply, hey, Plum, I fixed this. Why would you want to do that?
To let you know I fixed it?
Well, I could also find out just by checking it in, but why would you think that would even matter besides the obvious that to let me know it's fixed and I can go back and read it again?
Being polite, responding.
No, we're not here for pleasantries.
Okay.
What would be a good reason for you to say, hey, bro, I fixed it. I did what you said. Why? Why are you here at the academy? Tell me that.
To learn how to not be a fuck up.
That's one of the things. That's like saying to learn, I'm in driving school to learn how to not crash into people. That's more of a secondary concern. What's a more primary concern for entering into driving school?
To learn how to drive?
Right. So you're here to learn how to not be a fuck up. That is a secondary concern. What's a main concern?
Learning how to socialize?
Yes. Learning how to socialize. You notice every time you answer me, you answer learning how to socialize?
Yeah.
I'm socializing? It's like all of a sudden you lose your balls and you go up an octave. That's
awesome.
That's the chick inflection. That's the non-awesome chick inflection. That's the shit you want to get rid of. Now, you are definitely going to answer with a wrong answer. I guarantee you don't know what you're talking about, and you already sound like an asshole to me. You are already incompetent. I already consider you a loser and a nerd. But step number 1 in fixing that is learning how to answer properly. So that entails giving an answer. It's your guess. It's your best educated guess. But I want you to practice speaking in sentences. Is that agreeable with you?
Yes. Was that yes meant to be a sentence?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're supposed to be giving me an answer. I don't want another question. I want an answer from you. Even if it's the wrong, I would rather have the wrong answer from you than a question back from you.
Okay, then yes, that is acceptable.
Okay. So if it's not acceptable, I would tell you, no, that's the wrong answer. Then you would say, okay, thanks for telling me the right answer. Because it's important for you as a guy to learn how to state your expectations in a definitive way. You noticed I haven't gone, hey, new student, what would you like to talk about? Is this cool? Is this okay? Do you feel comfortable? I mean, is this the way you want to talk? I mean, how do you feel about this podcast? Is it okay? Well, if I started talking to you like that, and we're at a social academy, what would you think about me?
Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, who the fuck is this retarded guy? He's supposed to be teaching me how to socialize, and he can't even fucking make me feel comfortable. I feel weird. I feel like this guy is a total dork, and I already feel above him. Why would I want to learn anything from this guy? I hear background. Is that TV or is that your buddy?
That's my asshole talking to people on Skype.
So you got wait, is he on another computer?
Yeah, he brought his laptop over.
So he's just having public conversations over there. Is this with a chick or another bro?
I'm sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he counts as a bro. Kinda.
So he's talking to another bro, kinda?
No, I have no idea who he's talking to.
Let me ask you a question. Is this your cooler buddy or is this the buddy you know or what? What's the deal with him?
No, he's been my friend for I think like 5 years now.
So are you on a single microphone? Can he hear the conversation too or what?
No, he's on a different microphone.
No, but like if he talks, I'd be able to hear him? Like you have to talk into your microphone or is there I'm talking into an Apple microphone. That's just built into the computer. Do you have one of those handhelds or something?
We're both talking to headsets.
Oh, gotcha. So it's okay. Because I was going to actually talk to both of you at the same time, but I guess that's not going to happen.
He'd probably try to be a troll or something.
There's no such thing as a troll.
There isn't?
What's a troll? Tell me.
Someone just tries to be annoying on the internet for the sake of getting a reaction out of the other people.
Right. There's no such thing as a person who does something arbitrarily. Why is your buddy, quote, quote, trolling? Why is he trying to be annoying? Probably
for attention.
Well, yeah, he wants attention, but he wants to have some kind of enjoyable time. That's fun to him, maybe, right? Yeah. When you go to 4chan, everybody's fucking around with each other. Why are they doing that?
Because they're bored and need something.
Let me ask you a question. If the people on 4chan could fuck a chick versus troll online, what do you think they'd rather do?
Probably fuck someone.
Right. So, what does it tell you about their quote, quote, trolling?
They aren't social and need something else to do.
There you go. So, there's no such thing as trolling. It's just that, it's like, if you have a choice between eating a healthy meal, right? You have a turkey dinner with some pie, right? You have a choice between eating that, or you can eat, dog shit mixed with crackers. Okay? Those are your only two choices. Right? And you're a starving guy. You haven't eaten in a week. And I say, here, it's mealtime. Now, here's an awesome turkey dinner meal over here, and here's dog shit mixed with crackers. Okay? Now, which one is more nutritious?
The turkey?
Right. But let's say I take away the turkey meal, and all you're left with is dog shit and crackers. Are you going to not eat that?
No, I'm still going to eat it.
Right, because you're hungry. There is some food in there. There's dog shit in there. It's disgusting, but there's definitely food in there. So you're not gonna kill yourself. You're not gonna deprive yourself of your needs. You're gonna meet your needs in a dysfunctional way. So you're gonna start eating the dog shit and crackers. So same with people on 4chan. They're eating dog shit and crackers essentially. They don't know how to get that turkey dinner meal, but at the very least, they're not gonna starve. They're not gonna starve themselves. So they're gonna eat something. So the next best thing is the dog shit and crackers, so to speak. So the next time somebody tells you there's a troll, you say, nope, there's no troll. It's just that you don't know how to meet your need. If you can, guess what? Let me tell you a secret. If you can meet their need, they're not going to troll anymore. You know why we don't have people trolling our forum? Everybody's all the time, oh, you guys are such assholes. This is a perfect forum to troll. Why don't we get trolls here?
Because it's useful and meets people's needs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If we're like a hot chick, we have a vagina. Why would they troll us? They want our vagina. Right? So if we know how to meet somebody's needs, they have no reason to troll. The only people that get trolled are people who can't meet people's needs. Do you notice only certain people get trolled? Not everybody gets trolled.
Okay, I mean, I'm not big on trolling people, and I kind of just let him do his thing when he gets
Yeah,
into
but
that.
there's no such thing as trolling is what I'm trying to get the point across to you. I'm not talking about the ethics of trolling or he should stop trolling. I'm telling you that there is no trolling. There are people who are trying to get their needs met in the best way they know how. If people can't socialize normally, they'll socialize in non-normal ways, like trolling, which is to have a social interaction with somebody. They end up getting mad at you and pissed at you, but it's better than no social interaction, isn't it? Would you rather... Look, let me ask you this. Rank these in order of how you do them. Fuck a hot chick, make somebody really mad at you, or stare at a wall for the rest of your life.
Fuck a hot chick, get someone pissed at me, then stare at the wall?
Right. Why did you put them in that order? Why didn't you put stare at a wall first?
Because staring at a wall is retardedly boring, and at least if I'm pissing people off, it's slightly amusing.
Right. You're somewhat getting your needs met in a dysfunctional way. So that's exactly why there's no such thing as a troll. If you can meet their needs, you'll realize they'll stop trolling immediately. Even if you have a guy who trolls for years, if you can start meeting his needs, he has no reason to troll. You get him a girlfriend, you make him happy, he has no reason to troll anymore. There's no such thing as a troll. That's the lesson you just learned today. Okay, let's move on here with your intro. Okay, so I went over your delusional expectations. You hope to get a girlfriend within 6 months of starting. Good luck with that.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the thing. That is not an unrealistic goal, but let me put it to you this way. It might be an unrealistic goal depending on your situation, but let me put it this way. There are many dysfunctional girls out there who you could get in a relationship with right now. Now, would it last and how satisfying would it be is another story entirely, but you could get into that relationship. We're trying to get you into a relationship that you actually want to be in. You know, you're getting your sexual needs met. You like hanging out with her. It's a good match for you. You enjoy it, right? You have fun with it.
Okay.
It's meeting your needs. So just to say you're getting a relationship is irrelevant. Or just to even say you're fucking a hot chick. You could get a hooker right now. You could get $500 to go to Vegas or, go to your nearest escort service and get a hot chick and fuck her. But that's not going to meet your needs. You're going to enjoy that, that half hour you spend with her. But after that, right? No more relationship. Feeling kind of down.
Right. I guess for that, I was just kind of like, I hear that, if you're putting...
I'm not asking for your excuse. This is another issue we're going to cover. Your desire right now to justify yourself when I'm not asking you to justify yourself. This is another issue of social interaction. This is another unattractive habit that you have right now. It's a bad habit. What you'll learn in the academy is when it's appropriate to justify yourself. The basic rule of thumb goes like this. When somebody is under your authority, especially a girl is under your authority, that means she's meeting your expectations. Like if I tell you, hey, I want you to do this for me and you do that for me, well, then that I'm justified it's okay for me to justify myself to you, to give you a reason for why I'm doing something. But if you're not listening to me, you're not fearing my authority, you're not respecting my authority, there's no reason for me to explain myself to you. Okay? So you have like an automatic, like most emasculated guys, you have an automatic response to like explain your whole life to me, to justify why you should exist. That's your automatic default response right now. I don't care about that right now. We're going to get to the bottom of you. Okay, so you found out about, what did you find out about? Oh, the free scholarship. This month till November 22nd. Free scholarship time. So I'm not sure if we gave you one or you just signed up. What was the deal?
Pretty sure you gave me one.
Why did we give you one? I don't remember the reason. Hello?
Oh, I thought you were going to look it up. My bad.
Well,
I justified again. Damn it.
Don't panic. You're going to make plenty of mistakes at the academy. So why did you come to us, or how did you end up getting a scholarship? Do you remember?
I don't remember what I wrote, but I think
Were you in the chat room and I just gave you one?
No, it was on the topic you made, and I posted in that.
Oh, yeah, we posted about the free scholarships.
Right, and I basically said,
hello, I'm extremely interested.
I'm a fuck up. I can't socialize.
I read the ebook, but did not grasp it at all. Well,
Yeah,
I am looking to the academy to program to help me fix my many flaws. Blah blah blah. I am selfish, lazy, unable to discover all my expectations or enforce the few I have. Not socially confident. Worry that what others think of me too much, and have a mess of bad habits I need help with. Basically, I'm a mess who really needs someone to beat some sense and manhood into my head. Okay, great, you got it. Okay, so. That's pretty much it. You passed the interview.
All right.
That was pretty simple. The only thing we want to find out in this interview is if you're dangerous. As long as you're not dangerous, you're not going to blow anybody up, not going to knife anybody, we can take you.
All right.
We can work with you. I notice you like breathing a lot.
Yeah, I have allergies, so.
Hey, me too. Welcome to the club.
Alright.
We're Allergy Club. # dog. Woo! Your buddy sounds like he's really enjoying his chat.
I think he is. I don't even know what he's talking about right now.
Yeah. So what's your story? Anything you want to tell me about you?
I don't know what's important or not, so. There's nothing.
Yes. This is part of social interaction, learning how to speak to someone. The tough part of social interaction is learning how to volunteer information. Learning how to volunteer information is crucial because it gives people incentive to want to talk to you. For instance, if I say to you, you might know a lot of people at school. They go, "What's up, bro?" And what do you say back to them? "Hey, I had a really good day. I went to Disneyland. I was playing on the swings. I did this and that." Is that what you say to them?
Sometimes.
No.
Most of the
No, you don't say that to them. When they say, "What's up, bro?" what do you say back to them?
Not much. What's up with you?
Exactly. You might as well say banana, and he might as well say monkey, because you guys don't even care. It's just a greeting. It's like saying hi. It's a throwaway. This is not conducive to social interaction. In social interaction, when you're the guy, one of you has to have balls, which means one of you has to start initiating conversation. And initiating conversation doesn't mean just talking out of the blue, just about just one subject, but it means getting people. You need to start learning how to meet people's needs. And in a social interaction like me and you talking right now, I need to know what your needs are. Your needs are the same thing as my needs. If I know what my needs are, I automatically, by default, know what your needs are.
Alright.
So, if I know that I need food, what do I know about you?
I need food.
Exactly. If I know that if I want a relationship to be happy, what do I know about you?
I want a relationship to be happy.
Exactly. So it's like a magic trick to a lot of people. They don't realize that their needs are the same as other people's. The more you understand your own needs, the more you understand other people's needs. And that makes it much more clear why you should express something and how you should express something. For instance, if I'm socializing with you, what do you want to know about me? Or what do you want to get out of talking to me? You want to have a good time, right? Haven't you talked to people, you have a good time?
Yep.
You talk to your buddy, have a good time?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys like talking about?
Video games.
Video games. What else?
School.
You talk about everything, right?
Basically.
Yeah, but you don't just talk about subjects. What else do you talk about?
How he feels about it, how I feel about it.
Yeah, how you feel about things. Every experience you have reactions to those things. Those reactions you have to math, to science, to girls, to video games, all those reactions are really saying what you are like. All the things that are happening to you are just the vehicle to talk about you. So for instance, if you guys go to a baseball game, you're going to talk about your reactions to the atmosphere, to the peanuts, to the players. If you go to a school dance, you're going to talk about the dance, how it made you feel. You're talking about girls, the girls you like. All those things say what you're like. All your reactions talk about you. So all social interaction is just volunteering information about you. You notice how I've been doing a lot of talking and not asking you a lot of questions like, what's your favorite color? What's up, bro? How's your day?
Yeah, there's been very few questions at all.
Yes, because why do you think that is?
You're conveying yourself to me?
Yeah, but why do you think I'm doing that?
As an example is for what I should do?
Not just as an example. It is a good example, but more importantly, what do I know?
My needs?
Yes. What about you not talking like a girl? What do we talk about?
Don't do the inflection thing.
What do you need to do when I ask you that question?
Keep my voice not inflecting and stable.
And stable? And not inflecting?
Damn it.
And stable? What did we talk about when you answer a question? You're gonna fuck up. You already gave the wrong answer. What do I care about? You giving the wrong answer or what?
Just giving an answer.
Yes. How do I want you to give the answer? I want you to give it in a specific way. What's that specific way I want you to give the answer?
I don't know.
That's exactly right. That's exactly how I want you to give the answer. You just gave a great example of that. What was that example?
That I don't know and I need to be taught.
That I don't know and I need to be taught?
Oh, God.
What is the way I want you to answer? Do I always want the right answer? Do I think you're always going to give me the right answer 100% of the time?
No.
So how do I want you to answer?
Just answer.
Just answer. How do I want you to answer? Do I think you're going to give me the answer 100% of the time? The right answer 100% of the time?
No.
So how do I want you to answer me?
Oh, why am I having so much problems with this?
I just want you to give me a definite answer, even if it's the wrong answer.
Definite. That was nowhere near what I was thinking of.
Well, now you know. I just want you to give me a definite answer. Stop the questioning inflection, which basically the questioning inflection is you saying, please don't hate me. Please like me. Please let this be the right answer, God, so that he doesn't hate me. Please think highly of me. Knock that bullshit off. Give me the answer, the right answer or the wrong answer, but give me the definite answer. Be definitely right or definitely wrong. Those are preferable to you saying, please like me. I don't want your answer to ever say, please like me.
All right.
Perfect. Okay, so where were we? Why am I speaking to you, mostly just talking to you right now? Why am I able to just talk to you right now?
Because you're socially confident.
Because I know what about you?
You know my needs? Damn it, did it again.
Because I know what about you?
That I am incompetent?
That I am incompetent? What do I know about you? Give me an answer.
That I am incompetent.
There you go. What was the difference in that answer and the last answer?
I fixed my voice inflection.
Yes. I want you to answer in a statement, not in a question. Why do I want you to answer in a statement and not in a question?
The answering in a statement is definite.
Yes. You are learning how to lead a social interaction, not asking the other person, can they lead it for me? You are learning how to lead a social interaction. Now, back to the original question. Why am I doing most of the talking? Why do I know that this is okay for me to talk to you?
I don't know.
That's a good answer. Why was that a good answer?
I didn't do the voice inflection.
There you go. Okay, I'm talking to you because I know your needs. I know that you want to be stimulated. I know you want to get some understanding out of the academy, some wisdom of how to run a social interaction, how to become socially competent. I know that you want to feel comfortable. You want me to make you feel comfortable. Do you feel comfortable talking to me?
No.
No, you don't. Let's put it this way. If I started talking like, oh, well, so how do you feel at the, how do you feel about the academy? How would you feel about talking to that guy?
Less comfortable than this.
Why?
Because at least now, I'm just worried about getting the questions wrong, or the voice inflection thing wrong.
Right.
Then I'd be questioning what the fuck I'm doing with this thing.
Right. So the difference is, one is directionless, and one is I know what direction I'm going in, and I'm just trying to get you to go there. The only difference is that you're just not comfortable because you don't know yet how to make me happy. Once you figure out how to make me happy, it's going to be a very comfortable social interaction with me. You're going to have no problem talking to me. It's going to be like just talking to your buddy. Does it feel like we kind of know each other?
A little bit?
Feels like that. A little bit? Does it feel like we know each other?
Not really.
Not really. Why? We're old buddies, you and me. We play video games together.
Because I don't know that much about you besides you don't like when I do the voice inflection thing.
Yes, I hate when you do the voice inflection thing. But the more you understand what my expectations are, and the more I understand what your expectations are, eventually we're on the same page. We get more comfortable, and then it has that feeling of like we're old bros. How am I able to create a feeling of like we're old bros versus most of the strangers you meet? Do you feel as comfortable talking to most of the strangers you meet as you feel talking to me just now? We're meeting for the first time, essentially. What's the difference?
I feel more comfortable talking to you because I'm at a computer screen.
Yes, okay. That's number one. But I'm talking about the way I speak versus the way you speak with most other strangers. What is the difference?
You're leading the conversation? So it doesn't feel awkward where I feel I have to do something, but I have no clue what I'm doing?
Exactly. I am leading the conversation. You don't feel awkward. The more I lead it, the more I tell you how to make me happy, and the more you're able to do that, you'll feel more and more and more and more comfortable. What will that lead you to do? It will lead you to want to share your experiences, your reactions with me. And now, lo and behold, We're buddies.
Okay.
That's how it works. That's in both of social interaction. Now, I make it look easy because I've had practice. These are very simple concepts we're teaching, but they take training to learn how to do them. Just like any other skill you're learning. If you're learning basketball, you're going to be taking a lot of jump shots. Now, once you become competent at shooting a jump shot, it's going to look very easy to the layman, to the outside person looking at you. It's going to look like, oh, just simple. Just flick the ball in the hoop, right? But a lot of training went into making that form work and look proper. So I'm talking to you right now. I'm very definite with you. I know what your needs are. I could lead this entire conversation with you not even needing to respond. But this takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of practice. But the good news is the more you practice, the easier and easier and easier it gets until it's just like doing anything else. It's like driving. You practice driving, right?
Yep.
Okay. First time you got in the car, kind of fucking nervous, right? A little scary?
A little nervous? A lot more than
a lot nervous. Like cars coming at you. You're like, oh, I don't want to crash. I don't want to fuck up. But then eventually.
And then I almost hit a mailbox. But.
Yeah, you almost hit a mailbox. And then a year later, how are you driving now?
Just fine.
Yeah, you don't panic when you get behind the wheel, right?
No.
Right, but when you first got behind it, it was a lot of nervousness and anxiousness. But now you have that skill where it's almost just unconscious. You don't really think about it. You just drive. It just feels kind of natural. You don't have to think, oh, okay, shift, turn, steer, look in mirrors. You don't tell yourself all these little steps that you tell yourself immediately when you got in that car. You're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to shift. I'm supposed to check. You're going through all these mental gymnastics of these steps in your head that are now intuitive to you almost when you drive right now. You don't think about shifting or braking, do you? You just do it, right?
Yep.
Right? That's going to be social interaction for you eventually. Just through practice, you're just going to be speaking, not exactly like me, but in a similar vein. You'll be able to just express yourself to a person. They will open up, and you'll be able to form a relationship with them. It'll just be like that.
All right. I feel kind of bad because all I'm really contributing is yep, okay, and all right.
Well, you don't have a lot of practice yet. The more you practice, the more you'll realize how easy it is to contribute. The only difference between you and me is I have more training than you. You have a lot of experiences that I would love to hear about. I would love to hear your view of the world, how you react to things, but you just don't have the training to convey them. Number one, you're nervous about what to say, what I'll like or not like, and then you don't have a lot of practice just describing your experiences to me, relating what it's like. Like, for instance, what's your favorite song?
No Fear of the Setting Sun by Amon Amarth.
Why do you like that song? It's your favorite song, right?
Yep.
You know why you like it in your head, right?
Yeah.
But do you have any practice conveying why you like it to me?
I mean, I could kind of explain it.
Okay, kind of explain it to me right now.
All right. Well, no, I can't explain that part. So I guess the only thing I have on is it's a good song for if I'm training for martial arts.
Okay.
Because the whole song is about some guy, and he's just going to... It's based off Vikings, so he's just going to go fight, and whatever the pain is...
It's not based off of Vikings? It's based off of what?
I'm messing this up. Anyway, so it's based off Viking or Norse mythology and about Vikings.
Right.
And the particular song is about one dude in a lot of pain, and he's going to go fight to his death anyway. And if I'm training for martial arts, whatever, and I feel a little injured, a little sore, and I want to give up, and I find it easier to keep going if I'm listening to that song compared to other songs.
Okay. So that's why you like it.
And it just sounds good to me.
It just sounds good to me. A lot of things sound good. Why does it sound good to you?
I have no clue.
Exactly. That is where expression practice comes in handy. Now ask me what my favorite song is.
Alright, what's your favorite song?
Well, there's a song by 07 or 70. It goes da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't even know the melody, but I can hear the sound in my head. And it's this waterfall part. I don't like the whole song. I just like this one section of the song that's part of the chorus. And it goes dee-dee, dee-dee, dee-dee. And it has like a top part where it's like, let me go with the chorus. And then it sounds like boom. It hits a chord, like a bunch of chords, boom. And then a drippy part, like a waterfall. And then boom, it's a lower set of chords and then a lower set of chords. So it's like this slow drifting motion, like a waterfall. So you feel like soothed. You feel like do, do, do. So it hits a 3-chord progression and it sings a chorus. The words are set just in time to that sound. Do, do, do. So you feel like you're being rocked to sleep, or you feel like you're going down 3 slow waterfalls. Like I'm talking like this to get to the point. You feel like I'm hypnotizing you. So you feel like that, you get caught in that progression. It's like you're caught in a current and boom, boom, boom. But it's like a chocolate fountain. So you're like, it's like the sweet experience, but it's like boom, 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 right? Like you heard dubstep before?
Yeah.
It's like almost like dubstep, that same type of feeling where it just gets like there's a strong beat that anchors you, where you feel like you're anchored to that spot, but then there's all these little intricate little sounds, like that are like almost like a little melody. And so it's like these exciting little fizzling parts in the song, like eating Pop Rocks, but then boom, that big beat hits you and you get that anchor, right? So you feel like this strong sense, like you feel super strong when that beat hits, like boom, and then all these little Pop Rock sounds that are like these intricate little things that make you go, oh, that's a cool, interesting little melody. So that's what this song is like. It's not like a rap song or like dubstep, but it's got a harmony. It's like this chick singing the song, but it's like boom, 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 slow waterfall. It's almost like hypnotic. You feel like you're swept away. You close your eyes, it's like you're floating away in like a little cloud, a little dream. What's the difference between my description of my song and your description of your song?
You were very detailed in why you liked it, what parts you liked, what those parts that you liked were like, and how they affected you, and what it felt like to you.
Yes, I brought you into what? What did you feel like when you heard my description? You heard me talking about my song. What did you feel like? Did you get some kind of sense of what it was like?
Kind of.
Kind of. You didn't hear the songs. I didn't. I could go into even more detail if I heard the song. Like if I was listening to the song, I could get even more of a sense of what it was like and convey my reaction to that song. So like you're conveying a very general reaction to the song. You're like saying it sounds really good. That means nothing to me. But when you say it reminds me of, or I get this feeling of like, when I'm training and I want to give up, it's talking about this thing. So you're talking about even a general theme. So you're giving me a very general sense of the song. But you're not giving me a very specific sense, the degree of how you specifically experience it. Like if I listen to the same song you're listening to, I might get a different sense of it. I might react to it differently, right? We could both go to YouTube right now and listen to the song, and we both get a different sense of what that song is like. We react to it differently. That's the thing I want to hear. That's the thing that's attractive, hearing your reaction to that song, your specific reaction. You saying the song is good, or it sounds good. Is it true that the song sounds good to you?
Yes.
Yes, but is it specific? Does you saying it sounds good and I say my song sounds good? Can you tell the difference if I say my song sounds good to me?
No, doesn't sound different at all.
Doesn't sound different at all. We're using the same word. So we want to get to the degree of our experience, this very specific degree that is your unique reaction and my unique reaction. That is the thing that is attractive, the person that you convey. So that takes practice.
All right.
Welcome to Manhood Academy.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm still kind of like, I don't know if I'm meant to respond now or you're just going to
It's
go
okay.
on another.
You're worried about permission right now. We I understand that you're a new student here. It's okay. I'm having a little fun with you. So it's good to meet you though. I actually had an enjoyable time. We've been talking for almost 40 minutes. Time flies.
Okay.
Okay. Eventually, you'll learn how to respond. It's going to take practice. Well, like a lot of the students are in your same boat right now. You're learning how to form relationships. This is why I said in the beginning why it was important for you to respond to me when you corrected your post. Your responses create a relationship. If I don't get responses from you, there's no relationship. Right? If I'm just talking and lecturing right now, do we have a relationship?
Not at all.
Not really. We have like more of a student-teacher where I'm just teaching you things, but I'm not getting anything back from you. If I get homework back from you, if I get, hey, teacher, I like that professor, or hey, teacher, I learned that thing, now I get something from you that's enjoyable. I get your reaction. Now we have a relationship. Now I like hanging out with you. That's the difference. So even the way you respond, like if you hear something, you're like, because I know you're thinking about things as I'm talking to you, right? You're having thoughts about what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
Some things are clicking, some things are making sense, some things you're confused about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you give me those reactions and say, hey, I like this part because it reminds me of this, or hey, that makes sense to me because I do this, or hey, I don't understand this, or hey, I feel uncomfortable with this, all those little reactions complete our social interaction here, and that causes us to form a relationship.
I'm still kind of dealing with my heart trying to race a little when you ask me a question because I'm worried about fucking it up.
Well, there you go. See, now that I know that, that is good for me to know because that forms a relationship. Now I know you're a nervous little fuck.
Yep.
Yes, see? Now that you state these things, they're out in the open, they're no longer a big monster. I know you're a nervous fuck. You think you're hiding it from me, but now we know the truth. You are a nervous fuck. Now that demystifies it. That takes away the boogeyman. Eventually, the more you practice, the more you'll be like, it's talking to people is not as huge a demon in my head as I make it. Again, you don't have any practice, and you don't have knowledge of what to practice. That's what you're going to get here at the Academy.
All right.
Cool. Welcome aboard. All right. So you know what to do. If you have any questions, again, read the student orientation post. If you have questions, start posting in your expression thread, in your expectation management thread, and even in the student forum. Anything you need to post about where you don't know where it goes, just put it in the student forum. Or
Okay.
in the, student lounge. All right, I was going to try and pronounce your name. Snaky Dude. It was good meeting you, Snaky Dude.
You too.
Take care. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
That was Snaky Dude.